is back on Fox Sports North. From inside Mall of America studio, I'm Jamie Hirsch. After last night's exhibition game against the Golden Gophers, tonight begins the official spring training schedule for the Minnesota Twins, and Kyle Gibson will take the mound. Winner of 13 games in his first full season in the big leagues, Gibson now will try to secure a spot in this year's starting rotation. When we come back, Corey Probus and Dan Gladden have the call from Fort Myers against the Boston Red Sox here on Fox Sports North Plus.
It's summer.
Here are tonight's starting lineups for the visiting Boston Red Sox, managed by John Farrell. Xander Bogaerts will lead off. He'll be at shortstop, batting second. A good one, second baseman Dustin Pedroia. New guy at third base, Pablo Sandoval. Mike Napoli will be at first base, batting fourth. Alan Craig in left field. He'll bat fifth, batting sixth, DHing Brian LaHare. Bryce Prince will be in right field. He'll bat seventh, batting eighth, and in center field, Jackie Bradley Jr. And batting ninth, catching will be Christian Vasquez. Pitching for the Boston Red Sox here tonight, it's going to be Joe Kelly. Here's a starting lineup for your Minnesota Twins. Danny Santana will lead off. He'll be at shortstop. It's Brian Dozier at second base, batting second. At first base, batting third, Joe Mauer. Tory Hunter in right field bats fourth, batting fifth, left fielder Oswaldo Arcia. Trevor Plouffe at third base, bats sixth. Kurt Suzuki will be behind the plate. He'll bat seventh, batting eighth, and DHing Eduardo Escobar. And Aaron Hicks will be in center field. He'll bat ninth. Pitching for Minnesota, 31 starts last year. He was a 13-game winner. Right-hander Kyle Gibson. Umpires, it's going to be Brian O'Nora calling balls and strikes. Jeff Kellogg, the umpire at first base. Marvin Hudson will be at second base. We have Sean Barber, the umpire, at third base. Suzuki's throw down to second base. And to get you started on a gorgeous sellout crowd here at CenturyLink Sports Complex. Here's my partner, Corey Probus.
All right, Danny, thank you. In fact, we can look out well beyond the right field seats. 6 Mile Cypress, the main road to get inside the CenturyLink Sports Complex. And the cars are still packed up, headlights gleaming. And we can see folks still trying to file in, get their parking spot, get inside for the Twins and the Red Sox here tonight.
Imagine the kids in the car going, "Hey, Dad, I told you we should have left early."
Kyle Gibson will see Xander Bogaerts, Dustin Pedroia, and Pablo Sandoval here in the Red Sox first inning. Gibson, the tall right-hander, working off the first base side. And his first pitch in 2015 is a fastball high, ball one. With that, we are underway. And Dan, you gave the numbers a moment ago on Gibson coming off a nice, solid first full season of big league ball.
No question about it. 13-game winner. Also, he'll tell you he lost 12 games. And if you look at some of the numbers, had an opportunity to go on the Caravan with him, and it's glaring. When he lost early. ERA was up there, but when he won, he was lights out.
Behind 2-0, here it comes, and tries the outside corner, misses away. 3 fastballs, 3 balls. So 3-0 on Xander Bogaerts, set to start at short for the Red Sox this year, coming off a .240 season with 12 home runs and 46 knocked in, taking all the way. And there's a strike. High fastball from Gibson. Arcia's in left, Hicks in center, Hunter in right. Mauer, Dozier, Santana, Plouffe, Suzuki catching, Eduardo Escobar DHing. The 3-1 is chopped foul inside and then ricocheting out of the Twins' third base dugout. 3-2. So Danny looking up and down the Twins lineup tonight. Many regulars in there tonight for their first official home game here in the Grapefruit League.
I think so. I think that this is the game here that Paul wanted to really kind of save, his frontline guys, and here they are tonight. Same with the Boston Red Sox.
And a 3-2 bounce weakly foul past third. Sandoval, of course, signing a huge contract with the Red Sox at Boston, Danny, as we'll discuss throughout the night. And they really made over their team, spent a ton of money, payroll over $200 million now.
Don't forget that a few years ago they freed up a ton of money. I think it was around $280 million. Big trade to the Dodgers.
Again, the payoff swung on Sky to playable left center. Hicks coming in, over to his left goes Arcia, and the center fielder Hicks makes the squeeze, and Bogaerts is out number 1.
Corey, last year the Boston Red Sox 71 and 91, and to me they were a club that really didn't panic too much, but they did kind of revamp the left side a little bit, and Ramirez going out going to play left field, and of course Pablo Sandoval. They brought some offense, much needed offense, to this Boston club.
Red Sox finished dead last in the AL East. Now, the last time that happened was 2012. Well, 2013 was a pretty good year as the Red Sox won the World Series. Here is Pedroia. Takes a fastball high and away. Ball 1. Won his 4th Gold Glove a year ago, despite another injury-plagued year, as he bangs a base hit on a line in the hole at short between Santana and Plouffe. It's a 1-out single for Pedroia. Hit .278, but other numbers were down, unlike Pedroia. But you kind of go back to a thumb injury he sustained early in the year, and that left thumb has been problematic, Danny, in recent seasons.
No question about it. And I think anytime you have kind of a hand injury like that, the numbers may get off kilter there a little bit. But still, you look at him, he did play in 135 ball games, 7 home runs, 53 driven in. So pretty good numbers right there. But he's a guy, I think, that expects a little bit more out of himself. And also, he's a guy that's been hitting in that 3 slot.
And now the Pandas swings and taps one foul at the plate. Pablo Sandoval had a great run with the Giants. So many clutch hits, specifically in the postseason. Over his career, Sandoval is hitting better than .344. And his numbers in the World Series last year, Giants and Royals in that memorable Classic World Series, hit over 400. 5 years, $95 million with the Red Sox. And the 0-1. Gibson misses inside. And now it's even 1-1.
Sometimes you look at players like that. What kind of postseason player is he? And you rattled off some pretty good numbers right there. He is a guy, I think, in postseason that clutches up.
Sandoval, a switch hitter, native of Venezuela. And that traces back to his idol as a kid. He grew up idolizing Omar Vizquel. And the 1-1, a swing and a towering fly to shallow right. Tory Hunter's first chance back at a Twins jersey. And he looks up to the lights and makes the squeeze for out number 2. So Gibson, when he is on, normally a ground ball out pitcher, but tonight 2 outs, both in the air. Pedroia remains at first base, no score in the first, and here comes Mike Napoli. Just to finish up that thought, though, on Sandoval, again, grew up idolizing Omar Vizquel, switch hitting shortstop, and he said, that's what I want to do, too. Now they have, I think it's an understatement saying, different body frames.
Well, maybe not when he was growing up and idolizing him. I'm sure that came over stateside here and had some of that good American food.
2 down for Napoli. Back with the Red Sox again here in 2015, set to be the first baseman, although the Red Sox open up the regular season interleague play in Philly. And so David Ortiz, who's not with the team tonight, he may get some reps at first base later in camp to get him ready for the opening set in Philly. And the 1-0 swing and a miss. Big cut by Napoli. 17 home runs last year, coming off a 23 home run season with the Red Sox in 2013.
I think if you look up and down the lineup, I think a lot of guys offensively had kind of an off year. You look at David Ortiz's number, he still continues to put up some impressive numbers. But, you know, Napoli is one of those guys. He's a grinder, goes out there every day.
Check swing, roller foul behind the plate. Fastball from Gibson, clocked at 94, 1-2. Should this inning continue, Alan Craig with bat next. Pedroia 1-out single. 2 outs here in the first inning. Kyle Gibson. His first start here in the spring. Suzuki sending signs. Gibson from the stretch. A glance towards Pedroia at first. And deals 1-2. Sinker inside and low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. That sinker was moving from our vantage point high above home plate, down and into the right-handed batting Napoli, but did not get the call from Brian Onora. Mauer holding Pedroia on. He runs the 2-2 check swing and a bender. He went. They ring him up. Jeff Kellogg, first base umpire, makes that call. Napoli strikes out, and the inning is over. Red Sox don't score, leaving 1. We played 1 half in Fort Myers. Red Sox nothing. Twins coming up on your home for Twins baseball. Back for the first time tonight, it'll be Danny Santana, Brian Dozier, and Joe Mauer. Joe Kelly on the mound for the Red Sox. 26 years old, came over at the trade deadline last year from the St. Louis Cardinals. Alan Craig also in that deal. John Lackey went to the Cardinals in that transaction. Kelly with the Red Sox, 10 starts, ERA over 4. Had command problems. Averaged about 5 walks per 9 during his stint with the Red Sox last year. Danny Santana at shortstop tonight, leading things off, and he takes a pitch down and in, ball 1. Now Santana, 24 years old, coming off a stellar rookie campaign. On base percentage over 350, and the 1-0. He takes a thigh-high strike, and it's even. And you look at Santana's year, Danny, and you say leadoff hitter, only 19 walks, not too many, and we're talking about a guy that had over 400 at bats. And the 1-1 is rolled foul behind the plate, but it's almost a moot point because he still got on base more than 35% of the time.
No question. He did everything well last year, and he was asked to play kind of out of position in center field. Did a great job out there. But, you know, with the 40 runs driven in and also 20 stolen bases. So he's kind of that complete player, and I'm looking for him to build on that, but mostly at the shortstop position.
And the 1-2 is down and inside. A fastball 2-2, and that's the point I think is worth bringing up again, is that Santana, I don't think he's taken a single rep in the outfield, any drill so far in camp. He has been working exclusively.
No, he has dust on the outfield glove.
The 2-2, strike 3 called. Fastball at 92 had some movement going away. So Santana's gone, 1 out, no score for Brian Dozier.
You know, if you look at those numbers out of a shortstop, usually the numbers the scouts and people really look at is the defense. They want him to catch the ball first. But if he can do that and then put up the kind of numbers he did last year, especially at that leadoff spot, nice table setter.
So 1 down for Brian Dozier, coming off a 23 home run campaign as Kelly misses inside for a ball. Well, Dozier now 27 years old. Of his 23 home runs, 18 came before the All-Star break. Also surpassed 20 stolen bases, and the 1-0 is lined to center field, a base hit. Twins with their first hit tonight. Dozier 1 out single. The last time, up until last year, the Twins had a 20 home run, 20 stolen base player. Tory Hunter back in 2004. Well, Dozier did that last year, and he's on here in the first inning. No score for Joe Mauer. Mauer's numbers were down last year. Can't hide that fact. With 1 out, here is Joe, and he takes a fastball strike. Moving away, caught the outside edge. Mauer just 4 home runs, 55 knocked in. At first base defensively for the second straight spring. Red Sox at double play depth. Sandoval off the line at third as Mauer takes inside and low. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You talk about his numbers being down a little bit. Sometimes moving to a new position can maybe have an effect on your offense a little bit. But I thought the second half of the season, Joe turned himself into that first baseman that they hope that he can be, and that is he was going well to his right, well to his left, looked comfortable at first base.
I'll score in the first and the 1-1. Mauer swings and a slicing drive foul out of play. That one going to reach the party deck beyond the Twins bullpen. Yeah, you go back to Mauer's 2014 season, Danny. I thought there was a stretch. It was around late June. Mid to late June, the hits were coming. Going the opposite way, we saw the doubles, and then early July, he got injured. A right oblique strain. That sidelined Mauer for about a month. But I thought leading up to that injury, Joe was having a great stretch at the plate. And the 1-2 is lined to left field, going to drop for a base hit. One hopping to Alan Craig. And there is Mauer going the other way. Dozier down to second base. Twins have 2 on, 1 out. And here comes Tory Hunter back in a Twins uniform.
Nice ovation. A lot of Red Sox fans here too, and not only the Twins fans really appreciate Tory Hunter and what he's done not only for the Twins but also for baseball in general. He's well respected around the leagues.
Hunter back in camp with the Twins, first time since 07 as he lines a bullet foul down the left field line. You know, Hunter a year ago, 17 home runs, 83 knocked in. And brought back at a 1-year deal at the age of 39 years old. And I don't think this is about any kind of reunion tour. He's making a lot of money. It's also about production.
Well, I think there's a lot on his table that he's being asked to do. And we hear a lot about the clubhouse chemistry with Tory and trying to mentor a couple of young players in Buxton and Hicks.
Takeoff play at second base, and Dozier back in with a dive, got in there. Pedroia was creeping in defensively. It was a low throw, but Pedroia dug it out, applied the tag, but Dozier got back in, head first line.
I'm with you. I look at some of the numbers last year that he had, and you know, he hit for an average 286 as well, and had the doubles 33. So the bat seems to still be there, but at the same time, look who he was surrounded by. He had Cabrera, Victor Martinez on that club.
as he lines a bullet right side, deflecting off Pedroia, trickling into shallow center. Dozier rounding third. He will score. Tory Hunter's back with the Twins. He knocks in a run, and the Twins lead 1-0. A sinking liner to Pedroia's right. Try to backhand that ball, and he got a piece of it. Could not make the catch. Dozier scores easily from second base. Mauer to second. And the Twins lead 1-0. 2 on, still 1 out. And here comes Oswaldo Arcia. Arcia, 20 home runs a year ago. Knocked in 57. Twins line up tonight, beginning with a switch hitter. Then you have a righty in Dozier, lefty Mauer, righty Hunter. Now the lefty Arcia. Plouffe from the right side is on deck. Despite the fact the Twins only won 70 games a year ago, as it kind of worked out in the end, run production really wasn't the #1 problem. I think that was somewhat of a surprise because we left camp, Danny, last year, and the Twins struggled mightily with that part of the game, but then Colabello got hot, Dozier got hot, Suzuki got hot right away, Plouffe the same, and the Twins were scoring runs.
Yeah, no question about it. And Terry has addressed that really in the offseason, saying he feels the offense is there. They feel that they've scored enough runs. They just got to get that pitching in line, in particular the starters, to be able to go a little bit deeper in the ballgame. And they were just their ERAs. We talked about Gibson, who's pitching here tonight. When he lost, he had an ERA, I believe, over 5.
Changeup misses low. Arcia had 2 balls and no strikes. Mauer at second, Hunter at first. Only 1 out. Twins lead by a run. As Arcia slicing drive to left, deep in the corner. Long run, Craig over his head. One hops off the wall. Mauer heading home. He will score. Hunter to third base. RBI double. Oswaldo Arcia. 2-0 Twins. Still 2 on. Just 1 out here in the home first inning. Kelly's not fooling anybody here. The Twins have made contact.
A lot of fastballs, sinkers, trying to get the ball down, but that's something that Arcia really kind of matured a little bit last year, and being able to go the other way with the ball well, and good power. That one hopped the wall out there in left field.
And that swing too, Danny, it didn't look like he was swinging for the fences. And you look back at Arcia 2014, whether it was a back injury, the hand or wrist, his injuries seem to be self-induced with the way he swings. As Trevor Plouffe takes a breaking ball high for a ball.
Go down to the batting cage, watch these guys take batting practice in pregame. Rod Carew behind the cage, he called him out. Benakai, come here, please. And when he talked to him, he said, hey, suave. And he was telling him, take it easy when you take batting practice. Don't think you have to muscle everything. And he was trying to translate to him that if you're relaxed, everything's going to be a lot smoother for you.
It's a curveball strike called on Plouffe. It's even 1-1. Plouffe led the Twins a year ago in so many categories. Career highs in hits and doubles and RBIs, runs and walks. And really, we began to see a different Trevor Plouffe in spring training last year, going to right center as he taps one on the ground back to the mound. No chance for Hunter. Kelly fields and throws out Plouffe. Runners cannot advance. So Trevor grounds out, second out, still 2 on, now 2 outs. And it's up to Kurt Suzuki. Plouffe a year ago as well, 40 doubles. He grounds out here in the first inning tonight, and now Suzuki. All-Star a year ago. Suzuki led all American League catchers in average on base percentage, doubles. It's shy of just 290. His first year with the Twins, then signed an extension to stay in the Twin Cities, and he's behind a fastball strike called 0-1. Now Suzuki will start, that we know, but who will back him up? That's a competition that will play out over the next few weeks. Eric Fryer, Chris Herman, Josmio Pinto, of course, the 3 contenders for that backup to Suzuki. And the 0-1 is off speed, high and tight, 1 ball, 1 strike. Speaking of catchers, Red Sox starting Christian Vasquez behind the plate tonight. And Vasquez and Ryan Hannigan will be the Red Sox catchers this year. And the 1-1 is a slider high, ball 2. Suzuki was one of many that was hit by the flu bug earlier in the week. Missed a couple of days. And he wasn't alone. Hunter at third. Arce at second. 2 in, 2 out, 2 on. Kelly from the stretch, and the 2-1 is swinging a fly ball right center field, but Brents is there, moving to his right about 5 steps. And he makes the play to end the inning, but the Twins bat 7, score 2 runs on 4 hits, leaving 2. We've played 1. It now reads Twins 2, Red Sox nothing on your home for Twins baseball. Twins scored 2 in the first inning. The RBIs from Hunter and Arcia. Lead by a pair. Kyle Gibson gave up a hit. Strikeout in the first inning. They'll likely go one last inning here tonight. And scheduled to follow Gibson in this game, Tim Stauffer, another guy competing for a starting spot. Gibson pretty much secured to be in the rotation. Stauffer, he will compete with Alex Meyer, Trevor May, and Mike Pelfrey, Tommy Malone for the number 5 spot. There's a fastball strike called on Alan Craig. His 29 games of the Red Sox last year, and not a productive go. With the Red Sox hit under 130. And the 0-1, swing and a miss on a curveball from Gibson. 0-2, but I remember Alan Craig when he was healthy with St. Louis, and then he had a nagging foot injury that seems to, he just hasn't really fully recovered from that, Danny, because he was a big-time hitter.
Yeah, he was a big post-game player, too. He played well, and something happened to him. And sometimes injuries will do that.
Strikes out at a sinker. Down and in. Second strikeout for Gibson, 1 out. He was an all-star with the Cardinals in 2013. Had 22 home runs with St. Louis in 2012. Now, he's always going to be remembered. I think Cardinals, Red Sox, you go back to the World Series 2013, it was Game 3. It was Alan Craig who scored the winning run on the obstruction call. When Jared Saltalamacchia, the catcher, threw it away from Middlebrooks, the third baseman, into left field, and obstruction was rightly called on that play, and Alan Craig scored, and he was not healthy. You could pull it up and see he was lumbering home, not healthy with that foot, but he scored the winning run. Brian LaHare batting for the Red Sox, non-roster invitee.
You said obstruction and rightfully called. I disagree with that.
Okay.
I thought that Middlebrooks just kind of had to dive for it, try to catch the ball, and just laid on the ground.
Bouncing ball right side. 2 up to Dozier. Gloves off his left knee. Flips to first for the out. Now, once by rule, once the ball, though, got by Middlebrooks, he's no longer engaged in the play. And he still made contact with the runner, and that was Alan Craig. Either he should come off the bag and knock that ball down, or obviously Saltalamacchia made a poor throw.
Yep.
Get off the bag and keep that ball on the infield. 2-0 Twins here in the second as Gibson misses outside to Bryce Brentz. In right field tonight, ball one.
Now you talk about Middlebrooks, and he has kind of moved on. The Red Sox gave him an ample opportunity to do something. He played well at times.
1-0 is chopped foul, Danny.
Now playing over in the National League with the San Diego Padres.
I think that also factors into why the Red Sox went out and addressed third base, because that was a gaping hole offensively last few years for the Red Sox. 1 ball, 1 strike on Brentz. He swings and misses. Gibson took something off there, 1-2.
You remember when Middlebrooks was struggling a little bit, they would bring their shortstop Bogarts over, and he played a lot of third base. And Drew was there, Stephen Drew. So I think that they like what they have now on the left side of the infield.
Gibson 2 strikeouts so far tonight. Bases empty, 2 outs, and the 1-2 sent foul off the screen. Brent's 9 games, the Red Sox, a year ago. 36th overall pick. Back in 2010, spent the bulk of the year at AAA Pawtucket. Last year, 12 home runs. Shane Victorino is healthy, and he is right now set to be the Red Sox regular right fielder. And the 1-2 is a slider outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, I was looking at their lineup. They've got some depth in the outfield. They really do, and I think that they're going to have to maybe trade somebody, or not sure where their options are, but Jackie Bradley Jr., they've had him out there in center field. Tried to get him to take the job.
And the 2-2 is outside, a fastball popping away from Suzuki, 3-2.
That Castillo, that the Cuban player that they signed to a big contract.
He just got injured. Rusney Castillo, he is out with an oblique injury, and it was set to be a competition between Castillo and Mookie Betts in center field this spring, but now Castillo is out. The 3-2 pulled foul on the ground. Past the Twins' third base dugout. Twins lead by a pair in the second. And Hanley Ramirez, like you said, he's going to be in left field.
Wait till you see him. They said that he showed up into camp. He's not going to play shortstop anymore. So he went to the weight room and just bulked up, and they say he's like 225, 230 pounds.
3-2, another foul. Good battle here between Gibson and Brentz. Gibson now over 30 pitches. For a guy making that transition, Danny, short to the outfield, but you do it at Fenway Park.
I think it's going to be easy for him because he was a premier shortstop in his day, and now all of a sudden he's going to go out and play left field. And getting away from Fenway Park, I think that Fenway Park, one of the easier positions to play out there in left field, because there's really not a lot of ground to have to cover.
Fastball misses low and away, ball 4. So good at bat there for Bryce Brentz. As he coaxes the 2-out walk. Twins have a left-hander up in the bullpen. And here comes Jackie Bradley Jr.
You know, you look at the numbers that this guy had, and they've tried to get him at the top of the order, and batting average just 198. He did play in 127 games. Doesn't steal enough bases or do anything that the speed guy should do.
Sinker in for a strike called. Got a chance to see plenty of Bradley spring training 2013, Danny, when he won the job in the outfield in camp. Former first-round pick back in 2011. With 2 outs, he swings and sends one deep to right center field. Chasing is Hicks, chasing Hunter. It's over the head of Hicks, and one op's off the wall. Around third, heading home and scoring is Brentz, and now the ball comes to Mauer at the pitcher's mound. He throws to third, and they're going to get the runner. The run will count, but Bradley thrown out at third base. As Mauer cut it off at the mound, he threw to third. And that's the final out here in the second. But the run does score. 1 run on a hit, none left. Inning and a half complete. New score reads Twins 2, Red Sox 1 on your home for Twins baseball. Beautiful night here in Southwest Florida. Temperatures in the upper 70s, clear skies. Twins to bat, home second, leading 2-1. The scoring goes 8-4-3-5 to get Bradley Jr. for the final out on the Red Sox second, but the walk to Brents leads to a run. And Joe Kelly back to work as Eduardo Escobar bats for the first time here in the spring. Escobar DHing tonight, and the 1-0 offering is inside, ball 2. Eduardo Escobar, 35 doubles. The year ago, hit .275. But Santana seeing so much time in center. Escobar saw plenty of reps at short as he swings and bounces one foul up the first base side. Got a piece of his foot, 2-1.
You look at the last year, and Escobar was playing so well at shortstop, and the need at the time was really in center field. And figuring that, okay, let's throw Danny Santana out there, see how that goes. And that went well. And I think Escobar deserved to play last year.
And the 2-1 swings and sends one foul. His bat, I think, was a welcome surprise, no doubt, last year. But Escobar, he showed some power. Not home runs, but for a while there, he was on a stretch. It was routine for him to pick up another double. And you look at the leaderboard night after night, and there was Escobar with some of the game's better hitters. Hicks on deck. And the 2-2. Bouncing ball right side. Base hit right field. In between Napoli and Pedroia. Another well-struck ball. Escobar pulling that one to right. Nobody out. Twins by 1 for Aaron Hicks.
We talk about spring training being early, and the pitchers really going to just kind of throw mostly fastballs and save some of the off-speed stuff. But Kelly's been rocked a little bit every time he throws that hard stuff.
Red Sox rotation is basically set. Boston doesn't really have a go-to ace, and there's been kind of a side story with that, even more so today. As Hicks steps in, Escobar leads at first. Here in the second, nobody out, as Kelly deals a strike called. But with Clay Buchholz, Rick Porcello, of course, coming over from the Tigers, Joe Kelly, Wade Miley, and Justin Masterson. With the Red Sox, those 5 are pretty much set. It's lining up as of right now that Buchholz will start the opener. Buchholz earlier today purchased some T-shirts, and the 0-1 is a strike called, 0-2. And all 5 starters had the T-shirts. One said, "I'm the ace." The other one said, "He's the ace." Kind of answering the question for the Red Sox media. So all 5 guys have those shirts. Santana on deck, and the 0-2. Hicks lines one to right center field, to his right, leaping, can't catching his Brents. It gets by him and finds the wall, and this should be fun. Escobar around third, he will score. Hicks easily is at third base, standing. A line drive into right center field. Brents, a Superman diving try, could not get anything on it. It got by him, found the wall. Escobar's in from first. Hicks is at third base. Twins once again lead by 2. It's a 3-1 game.
Again, fastball looked like it was elevated a little bit. Like the aggressiveness of Hicks. Good base running by Escobar. Good effort also by Bentz out there in right field.
Now, Aaron Hicks was talking with him before the game tonight. He has kind of made one change to his batting stance. He's added a leg kick, if you will. Infield now comes up a bit as Santana swings and misses on a changeup, 0-1. And what's been so fun to watch, and this was a regular occurrence before games began. Inside the batting cage, Hicks, Buxton would be taking their swings off a tee, and seated on a chair was Tory Hunter, the 0-1. As a swing and a miss, off speed again on Santana, 0-2. So there is Tory Hunter on a chair, and Tom Bernansky right next to Tory on a knee. Rod Carew would be there as well. And there would be Hicks, there would be Buxton kind of soaking up that experience.
No question about it. And getting some information from some good ones.
Infield again is up. Twins by 2. The 0-2 line on the ground, right side base hit. Down the right field line past a lunging Napoli. Santana's going to try for second base. He will make it, head first slide. RBI triple, RBI double. 2 are in, nobody out. 4-1 Twins here in the second. Red Sox bullpen is active. A right-hander is up. So Danny Santana was down a couple of strikes there. Danny, you go back to that at bat. And that's nice to see from the Twins' young shortstop.
Yeah, I think last year we saw a little bit 2 strikes. Took a lot of pitches in that situation. Situational hitting right there, and you've got the same with nobody out second and third. And Bruno incorporates this every day in batting practice. For Dozier to kind of look for something up, out, away, hits the ball on the ground right side, move that runner over.
Slider outside of Dozier. He singled and scored back in a 2-run first. 2 are in, nobody out. Santana's at second base. Mauer on deck. As Kelly works from the stretch, the 1-0 is at the knees for a strike called. Kelly right now is at 36 pitches. And again, a right-hander warming in the Red Sox bullpen. Looks like Tim Stauffer will work the third for the Twins. Now time called. Now 1-0-2 on Joe Kelly. His father-in-law is a former Twin. In fact, a former first-round Twins selection. As he glances back towards second, and the 1-1 check by Dozier didn't matter. Strike call. The fastball clocked at 96, 1-2.
Hey, he was a big draft pick with the Minnesota Twins. I remember him in Orlando when he came big league camp a couple of years.
Yeah, Derek Parks.
Yes.
10th overall pick by the Twins back at 86. 92, 94. That's Joe Kelly's father-in-law. 1-2 on the Twins second baseman Dozier. And here it comes. Fastball over but high. 2-2. And the 2-2 pitch, slider outside, ball 3.
Now watching Kelly out there now trying to incorporate a few more breaking balls, but look at the velocity he's 92, 94 with a breaking ball about 86. So he's got good stuff, but he's just making some mistakes.
Twins have 7 hits, 4 runs. Kelly here tonight. Santana, great speed at second base, and the 3-2. Dozier strikes out swinging. Another off-speed offering that time from Kelly. And that's the first out here in the second. The Twins start the home portion of the 2013 campaign against Kansas City on April 13th. All fans will pick up a Blue Twins hoodie sweatshirt, courtesy of Northland Ford dealers. Get out of the cool weather and get ready for baseball at Target Field. Get your tickets today at twinsbaseball.com. One down for Mauer. Singled, scored back in the first inning. And the pitch, breaking ball from Kelly's inside. That was his 41st pitch here tonight. Mentioned the home opener, the guy on deck, and we had a nice ovation for Tory in the first inning. How about the hand he's going to receive on April 13th? Home opener at Target Field. And the 1-0 sent foul on a line over the Twins third base dugout.
Looking forward to that. But he's also kind of curious how kind of reception will he get. We open up in Detroit, and he's been there the last couple of years. And talking with Tory, he loved it in Detroit. He loved the town, loved the team, loved the ballpark.
One ball, one strike on Mauer. And the pitch is a fastball. Will be down and away. Caught the corner, 1-2.
I don't really see a lot of shifts in spring training, but they're shifting on Mauer. They got Sandoval off third base, and the shortstop Bogarts behind a base runner at second.
Hunter on back as Kelly takes a long look, and now the sign from Vasquez. And deals 1-2. Mauer squips one on the ground to third. Glove by Sandoval. Looks back to second. Throws somewhat high to first, but Napoli able to pull it down for the second out. And here comes John Farrell, the manager. And 45 pitches for Kelly. That will end his night. So a pitching change here in the home second. Twins still batting. 2 in, 1 on, 2 out. Twins have a 4-1 lead. We'll talk about the new Red Sox pitcher when we come back on your home for Twins baseball. Say goodbye to winter in Minnesota and report to spring training on the beautiful beaches of Fort Myers and Sanibel. Experience Florida's most natural beaches and islands at FortMyersSanibel.com. Beaches, no doubt, packed. Weather's been terrific. Sunshine, temperatures in the 80s. And if you can come on down, please join us for baseball, beaches, sunshine, and great weather. Noe Ramirez is the new pitcher for the Red Sox. He's a right-hander. And Danny does report that he does have 2 nostrils, so we'll go with that.
He does. Okay. He's got pants pulled up high. A lot of red sock. Sporting number 66. Watching him warm up. He featured everything. Yeah, this is the part. Kind of looking the dugout. Anybody know him? They know what this guy features out there.
Santana's at second base. Hunter. RBI single back in the first inning. On his 19th year of big league ball, and he takes a strike from Ramirez 0-1. Did you get a sense just from Tory Hunter last couple years that he would reconnect with the Twins before it was all said and done?
I talking to him during the season, especially late in the season, saying that doesn't look like he was going to be coming back or retained by the Tigers.
And the 0-1 pulled foul on the ground over the head of third base coach Gene Glenn. 0-2.
With that being said, I think there's always been that good connection with Tory and Twins organization. And he's not ruling out that, like you said earlier, this isn't some farewell tour for Tory Hunter. He's here to play, contribute, and he's got that winning attitude. Remember, he's been on some clubs, been winning.
0-2 on Hunter. Santana lays off second, 2 outs. Twins lead 4-1. And the pitch is blooped. Foul off the first base line. Napoli chasing, can't get there as it drops on the grass. So Hunter stays alive, 0-2. Now, Terry Ryan was telling me this winter that if the agents stayed out of it, the deal between the Twins and Hunter would have been done in about an hour. But you could see why, because of his production, that there were other suitors. Kansas City, Baltimore, Texas as well made a push to sign Tory.
I think it was a pretty easy decision for Tory once he talked to all the other clubs.
And the 0-2 is bounced on the ground to third. Sandoval charging, gloving, throws him out to end the inning. The Twins, though, scored 2 more runs on 3 hits. They leave 1 after 2. New score reads Twins 4, Red Sox 1 on your home for Twins baseball. Twins as Gibson has done 2 innings. Allowed a run and a couple of hits. Struck out 2 and a walk. Gives way to Tim Stauffer. Signed a major league contract this winter. Stauffer 6'1", 218, 32 years old. Has been with the Padres his entire career. And back in 2011, Stauffer started 31 games. In fact, he was San Diego's opening day starter that year. And some injuries since really have pushed Stauffer to the bullpen ever since. But right now he's in camp competing for a number 5 spot in the rotation as Vasquez, the catcher, bats and Stauffer misses high, ball 1.
He has pitched out of the bullpen, so I think he's going to be one of those swing guys. They are looking for somebody kind of fill that Anthony Swarzak role.
This is high again, ball 2. He features a fastball, was a cutter, change-up, and a rare curveball. Twins lead 4-1. Vasquez, the young catcher, 55 games with the Red Sox last year. Hit 1 home run as he lines a bullet to center field. Hicks will play it on a bounce, took an odd hop. A lot of spin on that ball as it made contact with the grass, but he gloves it, but not before Vasquez has a leadoff single. Special guest here in the booth here in the 3rd inning. Pleased to be joined by the president of the Minnesota Twins as we say good evening to David St. Peter. How are you?
Mr. Provis, it's good to see you and Danny. Excited
Always.
for a new season and fun night here at the Century League Sports Complex, Hammond Stadium, as we open the Grapefruit League season.
Exhibition game last night. Twins beat the Gophers 3-1. Day after, what were the comments you heard from everybody involved with the experience last night? Swinging a towering fly off the bat of Bogarts. Back goes Hicks on the warning track. He leaps, and that ball's over his head, and it's gone for a home run. Hicks a leaping jump at the 405 sign in dead center. But Xander Bogaerts, 12 homers last year, goes to dead center tonight. And the Red Sox with 1 swing within 1. It's a 4-3 game.
This kind of reminds me a little bit when we had Carl Pavano's wife in the booth. and things fell apart. But how did things go last night with all the renovations and, of course, the big game with the Gophers?
Well, I think the Gopher piece was a lot of fun. I know it's ironic. Paul Molitor's first game is against John Anderson, the Gophers. That's a partnership, a relationship that means a great deal to us, and it was a great night for Minnesota baseball. And then, of course, for us, it was a great dry run relative to the renovated Hammond Stadium. And much like fans will remember those exhibition games we played against the Cardinals before opening Target Field last night, was that for Century Link Sports Complex, and it was great. We found some things that we needed to find and needed to rectify, but it was a fun night. And now we're sitting here tonight with a sellout crowd against the BOS Sox, and people are really liking the renovations and are very excited about spring training baseball.
0-2 on Pedroia, singled his first time up. Here comes Stauffer, and the pitch is bounced foul down the third base side. Dave, I took a tour of the renovated complex, both the stadium and the academy, earlier in the week. But Dan Starkey works with you and the Twins in the front office. I was amazed at the number. He said with Hammond Stadium alone, there's 4 times the amount of stadium structure after all the renovations.
Yeah, there's no doubt that we've expanded the footprint here, which was important, both around the infield, but also foul pole to foul pole in the outfield. The other thing we've done is we've really consciously expanded the amount of shade. So more of our games, obviously, during the sunlight, and we always thought that shade was maybe an area we could improve on, and I think we've successfully done that.
Pulled on the ground. That is a fair ball down the third base line. Extra bases for Pedroia as Arcia chases it down. It's the Red Sox getting to Stauffer here in the third. All 3 have reached a single, a homer, now a double. Nobody out, Twins by 1. And here comes the Panda, Pablo Sandoval.
You know, Dave, you talk about the renovation. We saw a little bit of it last year, and then the completion here of the academy. And how important is that for probably the minor league system?
Well, the academy is something that we've had on our mind for probably a decade. And Bill Smith, our former GM, now in a special assistant role, really had taken that project on. And again, as part of the renovation project here at Hammond Stadium, we were able to do a public-private partnership with Lee County and really create something that we think can be a game changer around assimilating our youngest players into the type of facility that really helps drive home the culture that we think is important. And it's about nutrition and education and all those things that really can make a difference in terms of a young player's evolution as a professional baseball player.
Ball and no strikes on Sandoval. Swings and a slicing foul out of play off to our left. 1-1 on Sandoval. Fly to right. His first time up. And the berm tonight is packed out in left field. Boardwalk packed. Has the renovations, has that led to ticket sales increasing as you kind of project the folks coming down to watch here in the spring?
Well, Corey, as you know, Fort Myers has been a hotbed for spring training baseball for the last 20 years with the Twins and the Red Sox here. This is our 25th year in Fort Myers, and once again this year, and I think particularly here with the renovations, and a lot of optimism, I think, about the direction the Twins are going. We're seeing certainly an increase and expect to see a number of sellouts here at Hammett Stadium in 2015.
It was tapped on the ground to the first base line, and Stauffer picks it up, takes it to the bag unassisted. Pedroia does advance to third base. Sandoval retired. And before Mike Napoli steps in, we step out. 10 seconds for station identification from Fort Myers. This is Twins baseball. Corey Danny and Dave St. Peter here in the Red Sox third. Twins lead 4-3. Twins have the infield back, 1 out. Napoli batting, struck out his first time up. There's Stauffer from the stretch, makes his home in San Diego. And pitches, and Napoli bangs one foul on the ground on the third base side, 0-1.
Dave, we're talking about the renovation here and the nice ballpark here, and I really fan friendly, and you talked about more square footage for everybody and the fans, but your direction toward the team now.
Yeah.
There's got to be a good buzz going on back in the Twin Cities about what's going to happen. And yes, Paul Molitor and Tory Hunter, but still, you feel you got the players in place.
Well, we certainly feel like we've made some strides there, Danny. I mean, at the end of the day, Paul Molitor, I think, has worked really hard to maybe establish some expectations, some urgency, so to speak, and having Tory on board, it helps a lot, but it's going to start on that mound, particularly with our starting pitching. So the investment in Irvin Santana and obviously the Kyle Gibson who threw tonight, more consistency out of him, and Phil Hughes coming back off of maybe what was a career year for him. So we know the young kids are coming, but our fans, frankly, are sick of hearing of that. They want to see progress in Minnesota in 15, and really, that's the universal focus of our organization.
Napoli a line drive base hit to left center field. That will score Pedroia, and this game is tied. It's a 3-run third as Napoli knocks in his first run here in the spring. And we're tied 4-4, still just 1 out. And that'll bring up Alan Craig, who struck out his first time up. Some arms getting loose in the Twins bullpen. Stauffer kind of laboring here tonight. Suzuki going out for a quick chat. How long are you staying down here for, Dave?
Corey, I go back and forth a lot this time of year, so I'm here through Wednesday of next week, and then I'll be back, in about a week for another week stint, and have an opportunity to watch us and ultimately continue to kind of monitor our progress here at Hammett Stadium.
If we can kind of shift gears and maybe talk about some general baseball topics and leave the personnel alone for a moment, about whether it's pace of play that was a big talking point. I know you were involved in some of those discussions, how it all went down. Is that good for the game? Line to short, caught Santana, and no throw back to first base as Craig is out number 2.
Well, Corey, I think the pace of play discussion is a necessary discussion. I think everybody in our industry, certainly Commissioner Manfred, has made it known it's a high priority. I know it's a process. We're going to go through some things this year and test some things and try to change some behaviors. I'm one that believes that it has to start in the minor leagues. But the reality of it is I have 3 teenage sons, and their attention span is a little different than probably where I was when I was a teenager and the previous generation. So we need to work at ways to continue to move the game along and to ensure that at the end of the day, our product not only remains relevant, but very exciting for all generations.
Pitch clock is in play here in between innings, and when teams make pitching changes. And the 0-1 is inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. As a player, Danny, what's your take on what went down this winter?
Well, I think it's a good idea. I think that they need to somehow try to speed it up. And I think David Ortiz was the kind of the big vocal guy speaking for a lot of the players. in that, it's his time in the batter's box. He'll get in there when he thinks he's ready. But I think at some point the umpire's got to get involved too, and that is encourage some of these guys to, hey, come on, get in the batter's box. Let's go. And also on the mound. So collectively, I don't think that you can just put it on a hitter. But, yes, there would be times that in between pitches that I would take a little bit more time based on the situation out on the field, and in particular late in a ball game like that.
As LaHare lines one just fouled on the right field lines. 2 outs. Napoli back to first. Game tied at 4 here in the 3rd inning. 2 minutes and 25 seconds on the clock in between innings. For games that are nationally televised, that's bumped up to 2:45. Anywhere from 20 seconds to 0, you can resume play. As a check swing and a change, the appeal did not go. If the pitcher's ready, the batter's in the batter's box, and you're under 20 seconds, say there's 10 seconds, you can get going. You can start.
I think that's going to play that out a little bit here, just like we saw some of the adjustments maybe with what they did with replay last year going into this year.
I agree with that, Danny. I think it's one of those things that over time you're going to see, players, managers, coaches, fans, broadcasters get accustomed to it. So, it's a first step, and I think everybody in the game understands that it's the objective here. I don't think anybody's debating that. This question is how we get there, and it's going to require us to probably change some habits over time.
Curveball misses, low, ball 4. LaHare draws the walk, so Napoli down to second. And Bryce Brentz will be the 8th Red Sox to bat here in the 3rd inning.
You are going to have a time clock somewhere in the stadiums now, and I think that, like you said, Dave, it's going to start in the minor leagues. They're going to monitor that a little more closely than I think in the major league level, but there are going to be a time clock once that last out is recorded. That clock's going to start clicking, so they want them to try to have that pitcher, or the catcher, I should say, throw the ball down to second base. Still 30 seconds left. Get the hitter in the batter's box and get going.
2 on, 2 out. Here is Brentz, who walked and scored as he swings and grounds one to third. It'll be gloved by Plouffe, and he throws out the runner to end the inning. But the Red Sox score 3 and tie things up. They also lead 2. Dave, thank you very much. Appreciate the time here tonight from Dave St. Peter. Twins and Red Sox tied at 4. Home third coming up on your home for Twins baseball. At 4, our thanks to Dave St. Peter for stopping by. We're going to hear from Tory Hunter later on tonight as well from the Twins dugout. If you're tuning in tonight on the simulcast on Fox Sports North, just saw the pitch clock that is in effect right now, ticking down to 13 seconds. And acknowledging that, the new pitcher for the Red Sox, Alexei Ogando, signed as a free agent not too long ago, late January. The Rangers last year exclusively out of the bullpen, 27 games. Tried to start the prior years, but now out of the bullpen. And with the game tied at 4, here is Arcia leading off, and he takes a strike called. And what the Red Sox are lacking right now with their bullpen. Uehara's the closer, Tazawa to set things up. But the Red Sox lacking some big power arms, and they're hoping that Ogando, if he can stay healthy, can add some velocity to the back end of the bullpen. As he misses high on Arcia, 1 ball, 1 strike.
He was a high-velocity guy before he had some serious injuries, but with the Texas Rangers, remember, they tried to turn him, I believe, into a starter here, and that's when things kind of went backwards for him. But he's got an electrifying arm, and if you can kind of limit his innings and pitch count, he's going to be deadly.
Arcia went down, and he could not check his swing. 95 on the heat from Ogando that time, 1-2.
Boy, first time out, you're humping it up at 95. That's pretty good.
All-star in 2011 with the Rangers. Plouffe on deck. Suzuki due up third. Game tied at 4 in the home third. Now Ogando rather steps off. Working off the first base side. High leg kick. The 1-2. Went off speed, and Arcia able to hold back, not chase the changeup. 2-2. But getting back to the pace of play discussion. Now, the Arizona Fall League, and not so much with the 225 or the 245 clock, but they actually had a pitch clock during play that they dabbled with in the Fall League. And the 2-2 is a fastball missing down and in, 3-2. And research did show that games were shortened by about 10 minutes. Now, the Fall League is a great opportunity to experiment. They did that a year ago with replay and try some other things.
I think Dave touched on it, Ned, as you start in the minor leagues, because by the time these guys get up here, that's the way they've been playing down in the minors and now do it in the big leagues.
Arcia strikes out, beat by a fastball at 94. So 1 out. This portion of Twins baseball is brought to you by your select Heartland Chevy dealers. See your local Chevy dealer or log on to ChevyDealOnline.com tonight. One down for Plouffe. Bounced out to the pitcher his first time. Game tied at 4, and with 1 out, Trevor takes a fastball strike, 96 on the in-house radar gun with that one. I read an interview and a story quoting David Price a couple days back, and as Plouffe is behind 2 strikes now, Price, I'm not sure if he led the league. He was among the league leaders. He was averaging about 25, 26 seconds between pitches. Yet he's one of the game's premier pitchers. So if you're telling, okay, this is what you have to do, we're not talking about a guy who's up for a cup of coffee here. The 0-2 is swung on and banged to dead center, but playable for Bradley as he backpedals and makes the squeeze shy of the track for out number 2.
Well, yes, he is one of those premier guys, and he's also a guy that pitches deep into the ball games. He pitches a ton of innings, so I think that he's a guy that, yes, that game might get stretched out. But remember, in the years past, all we've heard about is the 4-hour, 30-minute games between the Boston Red Sox and the New York Yankees. And the Red Sox are a team that take a lot of pitches, take a lot of time in between pitches. So I think that's the model there that you got to really kind of keep an eye on, and that's the Boston Red Sox and the Yankees.
Strike called on Suzuki. 2 up, 2 down for Ogando.
But I'm not sure if David Price is going to change anything. I think that he's going to go about and talk to guys. He may not even think that or feel like it's taken that much time.
And the 0-1 is a slider missing down and away. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You know, there's a lot of things you can do. Hustle in off the field, hustle out to your position. If you're that catcher, get the ball in quickly. Quickly get it back to that pitcher. And then they talked about that pitcher to stay on the dirt part of the mound. A lot of guys would come off, walk around it.
The 1-1 line to short, on a hop, diving stop to his left. Bogarts to his feet, low throw. Napoli can't scoop it out of the ground. So Suzuki is on. Bogarts ranging to his left with the dive, gloved it, and a 1-hop throw. Napoli could not make the play in the back end, and Suzuki reaches here in the 3rd.
I like that. Bogart's kind of pounding on his glove a little bit to Napoli, letting him know, hey, it's okay. Bogart made a nice play. I guarantee you during the season, Napoli's going to pick that out of the dirt.
Well, he just scored that a hit. I think Suzuki was out by several steps. If that throw is on target, but that is ruled a base hit for Suzuki. Twins have their 8th hit. And now Escobar with a chance. He singled and scored back in a 2-run Twins second. As Ogando misses outside for ball 1. Ogando, the 3rd pitcher used by the Red Sox tonight. And the 1-0. That one's off the cleat and the foot of the umpire. Brian Onora painfully, and finds the backstop. So with that, Suzuki able to advance 90 feet. But now Onora needs time as he is walking around in some pain right behind home plate. Off the shoe.
Yeah, they do have those steel-toed shoes, and that's still going to hurt a little bit. Boy.
Onora kind of moving that right foot back and forth behind home plate.
I like how the catcher will go out there and give that umpire a little time to kind of walk it off a little bit. You see the umpires do that. If a catcher would take it, umpire would maybe walk the ball out to the pitcher's mound. But boy, that's where you're a little upset at that catcher, that you got to catch that ball, kid.
Now a 2-0 count, and Suzuki in scoring position here in the second. I should say in the third. And the 2-0 big cut by Escobar. He swings and fouls at the plate, 2-1.
And now that umpire start flinching a little bit. Ball down in the dirt, start bailing out of there.
If Escobar can reach, Aaron Hicks would bat next. Game tied at 4 in the third. Here comes Ogando, and the 2-1 is swinging a drive hit to deep right center field. Racing back, Bradley still going. That ball carrying. Bradley at the wall, turns, and that ball's gone. Eduardo Escobar to deep right center. That ball kept on going in the warm and humid air. So the misplay by the Red Sox defensively gave the Twins a chance here to add on, and Escobar does just that with a 2-out, 2-run homer, and the Twins take a 6-4 lead here in the third.
Well, we always see Escobar. He comes into camp in great shape, plays winter ball in the offseason, and played shortstop for his winter ball team. So a lot of the Latin players that do play come into camp, and they're ready to go.
Escobar a year ago, 6 home runs. Twins have their second homer this spring, first official home run. Polanco got one last night in the exhibition game against the Gophers. So base is empty for Hicks. And the Twin center fielder takes a strike. It's even now 1-1. Now Hicks really, Danny, in a similar spot for the 3rd straight year, a chance to win the job in center field, and he's done that in back-to-back seasons with solid springs.
He definitely has, and he seems very comfortable this spring so far. I know it's early, but just talking to him around the batting cage, in the dugout, in the clubhouse, it seems like there's a different Aaron Hicks.
There's a new look as well. Shaved his head.
I saw that too, but I think he's getting to the point where he has to.
The 1-2, he strikes out swinging. A fastball from Ogando at 95, up and away. So Hicks is gone, but not before the Twins retake the lead. 2-out, 2-run homer Escobar. Twins get 2 in the third through 3. It now reads Twins 6, Red Sox 4 on your home for Twins baseball. complete. 10 runs combined. Twins lead 6-4. Red Sox to bat in the fourth. Stauffer back to work. And here with the call once again, here's Dan Gladden.
I think Corey, a lot of offense so far. Here's Jackie Bradley Jr. He had a double RBI his first time up. Drove in the first run for the Red Sox. 25 pitches so far for Stauffer. And they've got Twins bullpen loosening up right now. And we're seeing where they're on that pitch count. Neil Allen going to keep an eye on everybody out there. And first pitch to Bradley is outside, ball one. Again, Bradley played in 127 ball games last year, hit 198. Homer drove in 30. And taps this one fouled on the right field line. 1 ball, 1 strike.
It's Ryan O'Rourke, a left-handed specialist, really, that the Twins are looking at here in the spring. He's warming up right now in the bullpen.
Yeah, Dunsing's scheduled to pitch. Casey Fiend scheduled to pitch, but I think what Molly's like to do with those guys that have them start that inning rather than bring those guys in. Taken in there on the outside corner for a strike, so he's in the hole. 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out. 6-4 Twins. Now to hitting Boston 9-6. And off speed in the dirt, blocked by Suzuki, and it also looks like Molitor. We talked to some of the hitters today asking, you're going to get 2, 3 at bats, and a lot of the guys were saying, probably just 2 at bats. But the way this game is going in the offense, it looks like they may be in there for a little bit longer or getting 3 at bats. Point missed just outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Stauffer, the right-hander, delivers a little ground ball up the middle. Santana knocks it down. He will not have a play on him. Boy, made a nice play in just getting to the ball. It's going to go as an infield base hit. And we talked about Bradley, just 8 stolen bases last year. And here's the catcher, Christian Vasquez. He singled, scored a run. Stauffer signed with the Minnesota Twins, had played with the San Diego Padres. 32 years of age, right-hander. Delivers in the dirt, blocked by Suzuki. Talked about nerves, maybe first outing here, and wearing Brad Radke's old number 22. Well, sometimes we see it with a lot of offensive players in that they try to do too much too early. Bradley not running, the pitch way inside. Vasquez kind of jackknifed out of the way. Brian Butterfield, one of the better ones, coaching third base for the Boston Red Sox. And here's the pitch. A little ground ball, third base, and that's going to be fair. Plouffe's only throw, it's high to first, and pulls Mauer off the base. And he'll probably be charged with a throwing error. Boy, that ball right over third base bag, stayed on the chalk. And Trevor, no really chance to go to second base. Bradley runs fairly well, and then the throw was up the line. And here's Bogaerts, homered straightaway center field. His last time up. I think the Red Sox with Bogaerts, they've got something special with this guy. They feel that not only can he swing the bat, but they feel he's Gold Glove caliber. At shortstop, first and second, nobody out. Curve drops in there for a strike. Trevor Plouffe charged with a throwing error. And Trevor was one of those guys hit with that flu bug, had to stay away from the ballpark for a few days. Checks the runner and delivers way inside. Stauffer now 36 pitches. Pedroia in the on-deck circle. Ryan O'Rourke continues to loosen up in the Twins bullpen. And another one inside, moved him off the plate. Now 3 balls. I've got 3-0, but the scoreboard says 2-1.
I'm going with you. If I learned anything last night when it comes to the count, I am siding with the Fresno State Hall of Famer.
Thank you. And here's the pitch. Boy, in the dirt. Kicks away from Suzuki, so it was 2 balls and 1 strike, and now a 3-ball, 1-strike count. Suzuki took that one off the shoulder pad there, and he kicked up the first base line. And looking in the dugout, you know, like Paulie's going to be given the signs as the manager. I think the years past, we've always seen that bench coach that will relay those. And a pitch down and away, and he walked him, and that's going to load him up for Dustin Pedroia. And that's going to get Paul Molitor out of the dugout. And he's going to come out, and he is going to have to go to the left-hander, O'Rourke. So Paul Molitor making the trip out to the mound. So we have the bases loaded, nobody out here in the top of the 4th inning. Twins leading 6-4. We'll be back. You're listening to Twins Baseball. Well, everybody works for weekends, so once it arrives, enjoy it in style. With a new Weekend Warrior pack, choose between either Friday, Saturday, or Sundays. As this 13-game ticket package, it'll put you in some of the best seats at Target Field. Just visit twinsbaseball.com and become a Weekend Warrior. Ryan O'Rourke, left-handed specialist, will come on. 26 years of age. Last year, between New Britain and Rochester, he went 2-4, 50 games with the AA New Britain Ball Club, and was just in 1 ball game through 1 inning for the Rochester AAA club. Minor league totals 15-21 with a ERA just over 4. I'm sure that when Paul gave him the ball, O'Rourke said, "Hey, thanks for the jam I'm in. Bases loaded, nobody out." And Dustin Pedroia doubled down the left field line his last time up. And a first pitch, a little cutter down and in, ball 1.
A storyline worth following here in camp is the bullpen, no doubt, but specifically, Danny, the left-handed arms. You know, Theobar, did not have the 14 season like he did back in 13.
And here's a pitch hit high in the air, left field. Arcia drifting back, track, berm, gone. A grand slam for Dustin Pedroia. Had 7 homers last year. Well, he took the first pitch and didn't get cheated on the next pitch. 8-6 Boston. Well, we talked about the Boston Red Sox adding Pablo Sandoval, who will turn around and bat right-handed. First time here tonight. Henry Ramirez. But also, I think the key, would you say that the Red Sox is Pedroia and how well he plays?
No question. His numbers, as we discussed his first time up, we're down last year.
Big swing and a miss. Elevated fastball got it by him.
But such a great player in all areas when healthy. And with that thumb injury that's hurt him in years past, he's had surgery 2 different occasions on the thumb. You know, there was some question as to is he going to stop sliding head first because of that?
And I would say no.
Yeah, that's how do you take that away from that player's game and a guy like that? But that is kind of worth watching if you're a Red Sox fan here.
I was reading something on him. They were talking about at the age of 31, he might be past his prime. I don't think so.
I'm with you there.
He's a guy that I think it's just in his blood. He's a baseball player. And there's a pitch, and this hits Sandoval on the left wrist. Here comes John Farrell. Here comes the trainer out. And they're going to check him out. Looked like that ball got him in the right forearm. Sandoval last year with the San Francisco Giants World Series ring, and it's reported that Hunter Pence, teammate of his, broke his forearm today in a ball game, hit by a pitch. And here's Napoli now. Still nobody out. 4 runs in. 8-6 Boston here in the top of the 4th inning. And Napoli bats. Singled RBI his first time up. Takes this one down and in. Ball 1.
Getting back to the Twins bullpen for a moment. Brian Dunsing, of course, will be in the pen, but then from the left-handed side, guys like O'Rourke and Theobar, Aaron Thompson vie for a job here in the spring.
There's a strike taken on the outside corner, and I'm not sure if that with Paul Molitor, if he's addressed to maybe Terry Ryan or vice versa, that I have to have 2 or 3 left-handers in the bullpen. I know with Gardy, that seemed to be kind of the recipe. Ball in a dirt block by Suzuki. You'd like to have that luxury. I remember talking with Gardy a number of years, and Mike Scioscia with the Angels never had a left-hander for a number of years in his bullpen. And I think that if you have a right-hander that can get the left-handers out, you're okay. And a pitch down and in. Run a count now, 3 balls and 1 strike. I don't think you keep one just to keep one, to say that you have one. You would like to have one that is able to get, I think with a left-hander, you have to be able to get a left-handed hitter out, but also get a right-hander hitter out once in a while. This one's sky to center field. Hicks coming in. Waits for it. One hands it, puts that one away, and there's out number 1.
Another name I guess you have to throw in the hat would be Tommy Milone, too. If Tommy Milone does not win that number 5 spot, does he then go back in that conversation there, possibly the bullpen from the left side?
Now, there's the depth, I think, that you have with the Twins this year, not only in the starting rotation, especially that 5th spot we talked about. And we're going to have to study that probably a little bit more, but once spring training gets going, I think that I think it'll play itself out. I think the players will either make a tough decision for Paul Molitor, Terry Ryan, or the player will not play well, making an easy decision. Alec Craig takes it in there for a strike. Dunsing warming up right now. And when you have these long innings like this, it really kind of throws everything out of whack as to how Neil Allen, the new pitching coach, and Molitor really want to play this out. They script it out as to, okay, he'll go 1 inning, 25, 30 pitches, he'll go 1 inning, and they just piggyback it through the game. But when you get guys that labor a little bit, and then you got to hurry up and rush somebody to get loose, and in this case it's Brian Dunsing starting to loosen up. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. 4 runs in here in the top of the 4th. O'Rourke delivers. Ground ball could be 2. Santana. Dozier on to first to Mauer in time for the double play. Nicely turned. The Red Sox do some damage, picking up 4 runs. Grand slam by Dustin Pedroia. New score. 8-6 Boston. We'll be back. You're listening to Twins Baseball. Link Sports Complex, gorgeous night. A little steamy, but still full house here in Fort Myers, Florida. 8-6 Boston, bottom of the fourth inning. Junichi Tazawa will come on and pitch. Pretty good last year with the Boston Red Sox. Went 6-5, was in 64 ball games. 71 ball games last year. He's kind of the setup man for Uehara, who was the closer for the Red Sox. Save 26. I saw where John Farrell said that they're going to kind of keep an eye on the closer a little bit and maybe not pitch him as much if they can, because he pitched multiple innings. Top of the order for the Minnesota Twins. Here comes Danny Santana. Brian Dozier, Joe Mauer. Pitches strictly out of the stretch. And the first pitch, fastball outside corner for a strike. Typical Japanese delivery where he will kind of pause as he lifts his leg up. Boy, Sandoval way in at third base, taking that bunt away from Danny Santana. See if he can get him in there, and he's slapping right by him. And here's the pitch, big curve. Stays high, and now 1-1 strike. Now you look at the starting staff for the Boston Red Sox. It does look like they are set, but a couple of pieces that they might be looking for out of the bullpen. And here's a pitch lined down the right field line. That ball is fair. And Santana can run a little bit around first base into the corner, and he's going to be held up at second base. Nice relay by the Boston Red Sox, getting that ball quickly back in the infield. Twins have something cooking here in the bottom of the fourth. So a leadoff double, and here comes Brian Dozier.
Danny Santana got hurt in Anaheim last year. Remember visiting with some of the Twins coaches, and Gardy mentioned this himself, that the Twins lost kind of their igniter on offense, the guy that was really making things happen at the top of that spot, and we saw that play out, how different the lineup would look, minus a guy like Danny Santana at the top of that lineup every day.
At the end of the season, you had this kid batting right now, and Dozier batting in the third slot, whereas, he was used in that leadoff spot, number 2 slot. And there's a line drive. That's a base hit into left center field. That's going to split the gap. Dozier going to try for 2, throw into second base, and Pedroia is going to tag him. Nope. Said he slid off the bag, and Pedroia arguing with the second base umpire right now, but he got blocked out, didn't see it. And I think during the course of the season, he is going to be out, but the throw, nice throw, one hop by Bradley, and then all of a sudden he slid off the bag, and yes, second base umpire was shielded. He was looking at the back of Pedroia when Dozier's hand came off the bag. Good hustle by Dozier. And here's Joe Mauer.
Yeah, no replay here in spring training this year.
Yeah, Mauer can tie this ball game up. Trailing 8-7. And a right-hander curve. Taking it's in there for a strike. Dozier seemed to play that off fairly good, in that had that right hand on the corner of the bag, and then his momentum just kind of pulled him off and then reached back with his left hand. Zawa check Dozier at second. Bogart's shortstop creeps in, and Mauer peels this one into the netting. I think we're going to see enough of the Boston Red Sox, in particular late in spring. I think we play these guys 9 times. We talk about that Governor's Cup. Hunter in the on-deck circle. Still nobody out, 1 run in. Good speed at second. There's a tapper off of Mauer's foot, foul. And now 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Got it.
You're big on that Governor's Cup, right?
Huge. I've got the T-shirt, and I've got a replica cup that I travel with, and used for motivation in these spring training games between the Twins and Red Sox.
I wonder where that is displayed right now as to. Twins have it right now? They were 3-2. Yeah, Mauer. 0-2 pitch way high. Twins last won the Governor's Cup 2011. So it's safe to say it's over their complex.
I would say it's down the street.
Their trophy case. What we should do is sneak in there one time and see if we can put it on a radio booth.
I like it.
And Mauer swings and misses it. And he goes down swinging. So Joe strikes out, now 1 for 3 on the night. And here comes Tory Hunter.
What about renaming it instead of the Governor's Cup, like the Danny Castiglione Cup?
No, we got to do something better like that. No, let's work on it. Let's work on it.
All right.
Don't you think that Tory coming to Minnesota and not going over, let's say, the National League, always felt that going from one league to the other, and I think Pablo Sandoval might have a little bit of trouble figuring out or getting familiar with some of the pitchers. Not the case with Tory. As he swings, first pitch, pops it up. Foul territory. Napoli near the dugout has room. And Hunter will be out number 2 on a pop-up. And it's going to be up to Oswaldo Arcia. Arcia double RBI, struck out swinging his last time up. I always felt everybody asked about the transition when you come over from maybe the National League to the American League. Is it different? And I always felt, hey, 60 feet, 6 inches, they still got to throw the ball over the plate. It's just the names on the back of their jerseys. And I think there is a comfort zone. Tory been in the American League his whole career, and now all of a sudden back with the Twins, very familiar with the pitchers, and especially in the league. And a ball in the dirt, kicks away. No chance for Dozier to advance to third.
Now, one would think if you're just trying to dissect the two, is it easier for a pitcher or a hitter to make that adjustment? I would think that, maybe the hitter, pitcher seeing that one extra bat in the lineup and the DH as opposed to obviously the pitcher batting in the National League. But
I think you always hear the pitcher say that they're going to stay with their strengths, whatever that might be. Whereas a hitter, you're trying to find out what that pitcher might feature. Curve drops in there, evens it up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, that's where all the video, and I think that all the studying that these hitters do now, the information that's available to these guys to be able to try to get an edge. Checks the runner, delivers foul back.
Among the improvements to it, the CenturyLink Sports Complex, they've added cameras, Danny, to all the surrounding fields. So say that there's a drill going on one of the backfields in, say, field 5, and Paul Molitor is on the main field, but he wants to see how somebody did during a drill. The Twins can pull up that video and take a look at it here at the complex.
I was back there on that backfield behind the academy there, and yes, they have cameras in the dugout. They've got him out in center field, and a kid after the ball game can go in and pull up his game or his at-bats. Swung on a foul tip, just stayed alive. Vasquez tried to hang on to it, but couldn't. Yeah, they've got all kinds of neat little rooms over there where the kids can go in and pull up their at-bats. See what kind of game they had. Maybe look at they might have been doing right. And then there's a lot of guys, I think, still that prefer not to look at video, especially during the ball game. There's a ground ball right side. Napoli on 2 hops, fields it, and he'll race to the base to beat Arcia. for the third out. Twins will pick up 1 run on 2 hits, leave 1, 4 complete. Score here at CenturyLink Sports Complex. The Boston Red Sox 8, Twins 7. We'll be back. You're listening to Twins Baseball. Seven Boston as we start the top of the 5th inning. New pitcher for the Minnesota Twins. It's going to be left-hander Brian Dunsing. So Dunsing out of the stretch last year with Minnesota 3-3, 62 ball games. And a first pitch DH. Brian LaHare takes it in there for a strike. We were talking earlier about left-handers in the bullpen and the luxury to maybe have 2 or 3 of them, but Dunsing has been that mainstay for the last several years. Very consistent. This one's jammed down the first base line. He's in a hole, no balls and 2 strikes. Tory Hunter is kind enough to put the headset on down in the Twins dugout. How you doing tonight?
I'm all right. How you doing?
Got 3 at bats. Everybody was talking about maybe just get 2, but game kind of dictated to maybe have it stay in there a little bit longer.
Yeah, definitely. He told me I was going to have one more at bat off of, I think, Tazawa, and it was a good one. It was my first pitch, and I knew he was going to throw me an off speed, and just happened to pop it up. But it's a good first day, man. I'm just trying to get my legs up under me. I ran down the first base, and trust me, I was tired.
LaHare strikes out looking, and here comes Bryce Brents. A lot of people don't understand. You can get all in shape all you want in the offseason, but there's something about coming to spring training. You still got to get what we call baseball shape.
Hey, man, you can do whatever you want. You can run mountains. You can work out in Colorado in the high altitude. You can do anything you want to do. And you come down here, man, just to get in baseball shape. It's totally different. Just running the bases, stop and go. You're sitting in the outfield for or second base, whatever it may be. You're sitting there for like 5 minutes before you even get a ball hit to you. So just to stop and go, you can't teach that in the offseason.
Brent's pass, right fielder, swings and misses, and now 1 ball, 1 strike. Are you a guy that want a lot of at-bats in spring training maybe earlier, or do you want them at the end of spring training?
Well, I like mine at the end. You know, early on, let the young guys get in there and get some. I get 2 or 3 at-bats, and, you know, right when we get 7 to 10 days before the season starts, I go out there and I try to play 7 innings, 8 innings if I could, and get one game where I could play all 9 and just to get myself in shape and get my adrenaline flowing and get myself locked in. But right now I'm just kind of working on my swings, trying to use my hands and get my timing and different things like that. And early on in spring training, that's what most guys are trying to do.
Count is 1 ball and 2 strikes as Dunsing delivers, pulled foul down third base line.
You know, Tory, I mentioned this earlier tonight that what's become such a popular tourist attraction for fans watching the players work out has been you in the cage but not hitting. You're on a chair putting the ball on the tee. You've got Bruno on your left, Rod Carew, and one by one there's Hicks and there's Buxton. How did that whole thing come about?
Man, you know, we just sit in there, we talk baseball. You know, we talk the game, we talk hitting situations, and, you know, 2 balls and no strikes. What's your mindset in that count? Bases loaded, you know, 3-2, or bases loaded 2-0. You know, we just try to, you know, just have more mental at-bats. And that's, if you want to call that, we'll call it mental at-bats, and we're in the cage just trying to visualize, and that's what I'm trying to get these guys to understand. 85% of this game is mental, and that's what I want to get to these young guys. They have all the physical tools, all the physical ability. It's just trying to help those guys out mentally.
You've got some talented players, and I don't want to say that you're solely going to work with them, but I'll bet you when you had Trout over there with the Angels, a good one, and now you've got a good one in Buxton and Hicks. Hicks is still a little raw, but you've got some good guys to work with.
Oh, yeah, man, you got some great talent over here. We're not talking about just those two. We're talking about the power of Vargas.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
And the power of Miguel Sano. These guys, man, they can really play the game. These two over here, they're pretty impressive. They want me to give them a heads up. Hi, guys. New Year's. Those guys are pretty funny. And but that talent right there, that's the future of Minnesota Twins baseball. I mean, you're going to have some guys coming up, and it's going to be exciting to watch. And so I'm excited to be a part of this group, this young group who's ready to go and giving us a chance to win this division.
Brent's grounds out, second out. Here's a breaking ball to Bradley Jr. for a strike. Do you help them also? You talked about working in the cage there in visualizing, and I agree with you, 80% of it's in between your ears to play this game. But how about helping, working with the media and the drain on a player that there's a lot of people pulling at you, asking for things?
Oh, well, you know what? I talk to these guys about everything, you know. Everybody knows that I'm going to help them in baseball, and that's what we're talking about, baseball. But I help these guys. I try to talk to them about finances, financial literacy, family issues, anything that's going on, whether it's, you know, the media, PR. Don't do some of the things and don't say some of the things I say. you know, and I say those things, you know, and I'm serious about it. But I try to tell those guys, just, you know, don't make some of the mistakes that I've made, whether it's with the media or anything like that. A lot of people might think I'm crazy in the media, but I try to respect the media as much as I can, and I try to tell these guys to respect the media as well.
A little jam shot popped up. Arcia with a nice running catch. Tory, thanks a lot.
Hey, thank you guys for having me.
And 3 up, 3 down for Dunsing here as we go to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Twins trailing 8-7. We'll be back. You're listening to Twins Baseball. A couple of changes for the Boston Red Sox as we start the bottom half of the 5th inning. Sean Cole will be the new third baseman. Bogart still at shortstop. Jeff Bianchi will be in for Dustin Pedroia at second base. Travis Shaw is going to be at first base. New pitcher Edwin Mojica. So he'll come out and pitch here in the bottom of the fifth inning. It's going to be Trevor Plouffe for the Minnesota Twins. Kurt Suzuki, Eduardo Escobar is scheduled. Twins trailing in this ball game 8-7. Took a 2-0 lead after one. Red Sox got one back top half of the second, and then Twins 2 in the second, 2 in the third. Red Sox tied it up with 3 in the top of the third, and then took a 8-6 lead with a grand slam. Pedroia. Twins got one back bottom half of the fourth. First pitch outside, ball one. Yeah, Trevor Plouffe, big year for the Twins last year. 14 homers, 80 driven in, led the club in RBIs, lines it into right field, and that's going to land for a base hit. So that's one thing Trevor did well last year, is go the other way. Also led the club 40 doubles last year. And here comes Kurt Suzuki. Go back to last year. I think that guys that were kind of the MVP players the first month of the season, Kurt Suzuki was one of those guys. Chris Colabello we talked about. Had such a big month. They broke out the cowbells for Chris Colabello and kind of a fan giveaway, and after that things went downhill for Chris. There's a line drive, base hit right field. That's what Suzuki does so well. He can hit behind the hitter, and like that, first and second with nobody out. Here comes Eduardo Escobar.
And Colabello now in camp with the Blue Jays.
Yeah, saw that. They put him on the roster, and then they took him off the roster. They made a late trade, and they had to put somebody else on, and felt they could take him off the roster and get him through, and sure enough they did. Remember, he was a guy that there was interest in him going over to Japan. Terry Ryan had talked about possibly selling his contract to a Japan team over there, and he said, no, I want to make the club. I want to play in the big leagues, and sure enough, the spring that he had. There's a strike to Escobar, jumped back out of the way thinking that ball was inside. Now, too early, late in the spring, I'm sure, or late season, bunt situation here. And Molitor addressed it the other night. There's a little tapper foul. Escobar in a hole. No balls and 2 strikes. Like he said later in the spring, he's maybe going to find out who can bunt certain situations. Escobar might have a tough time getting some playing time. If Danny Santana can lock down shortstop, and Escobar is a guy that can play second, short, and third, and really, he's really good on the left side of the diamond. Talking to him, he feels he doesn't read the ball off the bat that well on the right side. Switch hitter, occasional power. And there's a line drive. Right center field. That's going to be fielded by the right fielder. And Brents gets it back into the infield, and nice base running again by the Twins, and Plouffe tagging up, advancing to third. So Twins have first and third. Here comes Aaron Hicks. We talked about the ball game last night. Molitor, former Minnesota Gopher, going against John Anderson, a teammate. And here it is. Molitor was out shaking hands with John Farrell, and got a little nugget that John Farrell was the pitcher that stopped Paul Molitor's 39-game hitting streak in 1987. And I believe that was in late August as Hicks bats, skies this one to right field. Should be deep enough. Plouffe runs well enough as he's tagging up. Brent's getting in good position. He's going to come up, throw to the plate, and it's up the line, and Plouffe's going to tag, and he'll score and ties it up 8-8. So good base running, and Plouffe getting to third base on the tag up, and then right there, deep enough off the bat of Aaron Hicks, get the sac fly RBI. And Doug Bernier will bat for Danny Santana. And also Suzuki tagging up and advancing to second base, so he's in scoring position. Twins have a chance to take the lead. But in that ball game, Paul Molitor was in the on-deck circle. That game went extra innings, 10 innings. And I believe Manning got a base hit in the bottom of the 10th inning, won the ball game, and they were booing him.
Got booed. Yep.
And got booed because Paul Molitor was in the on-deck circle. But it was John Farrell that stopped that hitting streak, who's managing for the Boston Red Sox right now. As Bernier bats right-handed. And a pitch. There's a line drive caught by the first baseman, Shaw. But the Twins do some damage here and tie it up in the bottom of the 5th inning, getting 1 run on 2 hits. And they leave 1-5 complete. New score 8-8 here at CenturyLink Sports Complex. You're listening to Twins Baseball. Yeah, whole house changes for the Minnesota Twins. On around the diamond, Chris Herman in the ballgame behind the plate. Jose Martinez will be at third base. Doug Bernier, pinch hit, lined out to the first baseman, stays in the ballgame. He'll be at shortstop. Argenis Diaz is the second baseman. Dan Rolfing is at first base. Danny Ortiz came on. He's still in right field now. And Eddie Rosario is in center field, battling for a job there. And Eric Ferris is the new left fielder for the Minnesota Twins. And the new pitcher is going to be right-hander Casey Feen. As we start the top of the 6th inning. And a first pitch, check swing, foul tip. Herman hangs onto it. Eight hits for the Red Sox tonight, 13 for the Twins. One error in the ballgame. That was charged to Trevor Plouffe, throwing error. Feen looked in and then stepped off the rubbers. Herman flashing some signs. Casey Feen, key for the Twins last year. Out of the bullpen, looks to be that setup guy, taking kind of Jared Burton's role now as Vasquez, big swing and a miss. Feen leans in, no balls, 2 strikes. Herman sets up away, and there's the pitch. Lifted weakly to right field. Ortiz comes in, one hands it, and there's an easy out. So with 1 out, we'll pause 10 seconds, allow our stations to identify themselves. You're listening to Twins Baseball. Here's Bogaerts to bat. 2-run homer, walked. He scored 2 of the 8 runs for the Boston Red Sox here tonight. Casey Fiend out of the stretch, delivers fastball, good one. Catches the outside corner, strike 1. Fiend last year for Minnesota, 73 ball games, went 5-6. Threw 63 in a third innings, 51 strikeouts, high emotion guy here. Big off speed pitch. Bogaerts way out in front. So Fiend ahead, no balls, 2 strikes. 8-8 tie here in the top of the 6th inning. And a righty delivers ground ball right side. Should be routine, and it is. Gobbled up by Diaz, and he retires Bogaerts. So out number 2. And here comes Jeff Bianchi, second baseman for the Boston Red Sox. Hey, it's a fan-friendly schedule at Target Field this season. The Cubs, the Cardinals, and the Pittsburgh Pirates, plus all the rivals from the tough American League Central. They're great ticket specials, so don't miss out on the games that you want to see. All you have to do is go to twinsbaseball.com. Fiend delivers, misses, up and away. Yeah, with Burton not coming back with the Minnesota Twins, Perkins going to lock down the closer role, but this is a guy I think that Paul Molitor and the staff, they feel comfortable. As Herman trying to break in that catcher's glove. Kicks away from him, but picks it up as that pitch was outside. And I think with Fiend as the 8th inning guy, but at the same time, I think depending on the matchup, we'll talk to Paul a little bit later in spring training, I think he'd be happy going with Dunsing also as a left-hander, depending on the matchup late in the ballgame.
As the guys, I think before you get to Dunsing, Fiend, Perk, towards the end of the game, those are the spots that are to be had right now in camp.
I think that they're looking for somebody that's talked about Swarzak's role, a guy that can not so much maybe spot start, but also a guy that if something happens early in a ball game, that he can give you those innings to protect your bullpen. And every club's going to have that type of guy, that long guy. Ground ball, shortstop. Bernier fields it on one hop, strong throw to retire Bianchi. And there's 3 up, 3 down for Casey Fiend. Bottom of the 6th coming up, all knotted up 8-8. And you're listening to Twins Baseball. Century Lake Sports Complex, gorgeous night here, full house here in South Fort Myers. Have a new pitcher. I believe it's Brian Johnson, left-hander. Number 78, so Brian Johnson will come on and pitch. And we're also joined here in the radio booth, Frank Mann, county commissioner. And what I liked is when you said you've been here 73 years, boy, you got to let me in on some of the fishing holes, right?
Yes, sir. I know where all are, and if we get along good tonight and you don't embarrass me and you make Lee County look good, I'll take you out, buddy.
Well, we're just going to watch this ball game tied up 8-8 here, so nothing really to watch as Diaz bats. And the first pitch is in there for a strike. And swung on and fouled off. He's in a hole, no balls and 2 strikes. But you slide over so you can see the ball game here a little bit. You all right?
I'm catching a good corner of it here. Yeah, let me stay over here.
Okay.
Got it good.
All right.
Got the batter's box. Got the pitcher. Yes, man. Lefty.
Did you play baseball when you were a kid growing up down here in
Little
Florida?
League is where I peaked.
A lot of these guys. You wish you maybe would have been a little bit better and played this game?
Well, I watch these things so you can get into the culture of baseball. It's such an exciting thing. It's so much fun, and particularly on an opening night like this, you fill the house up in a remodeled stadium with $40 million invested in it on top of the, 30 or so we already had. It's the fans I'm hearing tonight, God, they love it. Particularly those from Minneapolis that, what is it, 12 degrees
12
up there
degrees,
right now,
yes.
And it's going to be 85 to 87 here all week. Friends up north, you need to be in Lee County, Florida right now.
Here's Dan Rolfing to bat right now, but being the county commissioner, you had a lot to do with the renovation of the second phase of this ballpark here. And how tough was it? And, of course, the money had to be raised.
The great thing about the financing for what you're seeing out here tonight, this brand new, this tremendous addition, took us 2 years to complete. We want to thank our northern tourists, our snowbirds, as we call them, for coming down here, because every time they rent a room in a motel, they pay an extra nickel tax, and that's how we paid for these stadium improvements. And, across town, the Boston Red Sox train here, too. And it was our northern tourists that paid for these through that tax. Our local citizens didn't have to pay a penny. So we are grateful for these 10, 11,000 people that come out here tonight, because a lot of them are staying in those motels and those condos and paying that tax. So we locals get to enjoy baseball paid for by our northern visitors, and our northern visitors seem to love coming here anyway.
Yeah, it's amazing as Rolfing will walk here. And now it's going to be Danny Ortiz that's going to bat, but to be able to have the guys that can come down and pay for the addition of this ballpark, but also the snowbird people that come from north, they're also baseball fans.
Oh, they're great baseball fans. And our tourism, even during the horrible recession that we've just still recovering from, our tourism, much thanks to baseball, has set records the last 4 years in a row. In the height of the recession, we were setting records on tourism, and a lot of that is tied directly to baseball. People from Minnesota want to see their Twins down there, and they travel a long way, spend a lot of money when they come down here, and we love them. They're helping us pay the bills.
How about the fact that like the Boston Red Sox here, and there's rumor that there might be a third team. Is there... You hearing that land on your desk?
We've got one extra field here that we had built for the Sox nearly 35 years ago. And we built a new one for the Sox, new stadium, so that one is still available. And we've been trying to entice one of the other major league teams to come down here. So far it hadn't worked out, so we're using it for a lot of local stuff, Roy Hobbs kind of stuff.
Yes.
All kinds of kids' games and nonprofits. So we're utilizing that field, but we could squeeze the third team in here real easy. And if anybody's listening out there that owns a team, such a deal we got for you in Lee County, Florida.
Look up Frank Mann, right? County commissioner.
Yes. I'll make him a deal, Dan.
I bet you will. The runner at second, he advanced on the pass ball, and there's Ortiz, a little too hopper to the first baseman. He'll step on the bag to retire Ortiz. Runner advances, Rolfing to third base on a ground out. So what's on your agenda now? What else, being the county commissioner, I'm sure there's a lot of hot things that step on your on your desk.
We got all kinds of hot issues. Lee County is one of the fastest growing counties in the United States of America. So there's always challenges. How are you going to build the roads? How are you going to build the schools? How are you going to provide the infrastructure for all these good people coming here? And And how are you going to do that? How are you going to invite all these people to come here? So many of them move here permanently without destroying the goose that laid the golden egg. The quality of life is so great here.
Frank, you talked about the improvement of the roads here. My partner here, Corey Provis, is complaining. He lives out by 75 there, and when the Red Sox Twins play, or like tonight, it takes him a 45 minutes to get home. And he was hoping that you could kind of open up the roads there a little bit. Or
Corey, I'm your man, buddy. I'll get to working on that first thing tomorrow morning.
What about your helicopter? Is your helicopter available tonight? As you survey all the land down here, you've got access to one.
You know, Corey, if I'd known you needed it, I would have brought it with me.
A high throw to first, and it looks like Ferris is going to beat it out. Runner Rolfing's going to score from third base, and that is how the Twins are going to take the lead 9-8 here.
All right.
In the bottom of the sixth. You like that, huh?
I'm for that. We come out for the Twins opener. We want to win, buddy. That's the idea.
I told Corey, I go, get a bicycle. I went out and I got one, and they've got bike paths that you can ride all the way from your apartment here to the ballpark.
Fun.
Yeah.
Corey, look, I got a little Bubba four-wheel drive pickup truck. You tell me where you at, buddy. I'll come get you.
Let's go back. Say that again. You said some words I didn't understand. I heard four-wheel drive, or a truck.
Bubba truck.
Bubba truck. Okay.
Yes, sir.
I just know about bubble guppies. I don't know about Bubba trucks. But
I got to let you in on some of our best-kept Southern secrets down here in old Florida.
Yes, sir. Who was your baseball team growing up, Frank? Who was the team you kind of rooted for as a kid?
I would say it was the Pittsburgh Pirates, because they trained here back in the 60s. I had gone off to college in the 60s, but we remember when Maserati and Roberto Clemente, all those boys were that was the team of the year, and they won the World Series in the 60s, so that's the one I had to be excited
Frank, thanks
about.
a lot for stopping in here. Frank Mann, County Commissioner. If you've got a team out there you want to move them down to Fort Myers, give Frank a call.
Such a deal, man.
All right, thanks a lot. Twins are taking the lead 9-8. Top of the seventh coming up, and so is Corey Provis. You're listening to Twins Baseball.
Our thanks to Frank Mann, Lee County Commissioner, for stopping by. Fun chat, meeting Frank up here.
He talked about that Bubba four-wheeler he's got, but talked to him, he's got a swamp buggy, too. You have to go out on one of those, Corey. It's a swamp buggy. Swamp buggy looks like an oversized tractor. It's got like tractor wheels, but you go through the swamp, and you're about 20 feet high. It's almost like it's a houseboat on wheels.
Is that the same boat that you navigate through, like the Everglades?
No. That's got that little airplane.
Right, the big propeller there in the back.
No. This is a swamp buggy. If we had an engineer, we could pull it up, because these people spend a ton of money. I went on a swamp buggy last year, and he was trying to get me back in there so I can Look at, I was bow hunting at the time, and this thing was over $100,000 that he paid for this swamp buggy.
And now Kyle Hammer
Look at that.
Has stopped watching qualifying night, and he has the swamp buggy on his computer. That does look like fun. Big wheels and kind of a fun area to sit and watch.
But look at the motor and everything. Oh.
Blaine Boyer is the new pitcher for the Twins, by the way. He's behind Sean Coyle, 3-0. Oh, it's fun, Danny. Twins baseball brought to you by your neighborhood swamp buggy.
Would you go if I got it set up?
Sure.
All right.
Now Boyer just walked Coyle on 4 pitches, so it's a leadoff walk here in the 7th. Twins lead by a run. And that'll bring up Travis Shaw, the Red Sox first baseman. And Boyer, non-roster invitee here in camp, 6'3", 225. 33 years old, born in Atlanta, made his debut with the Braves. Was with Atlanta 05 through parts of 09, former Cardinal, Diamondback, and then chose not to pitch in 2012 to spend more time with his family, but wanted to give it a go once again and went to pitch in Japan and returned to the States in 2014. Was with the Padres in 32 games last year. He's a right-hander, and he is trying to win a spot in the Twins bullpen here at camp. Strike on Shaw, 0-1. And here it comes, and Boyer hits the inside corner with a cut fastball at 89, 0-2.
Doesn't it seem like the Twins kind of go in cycles? And for a few years there, it seemed like a lot of players the Twins were making deals with were the Pittsburgh Pirates. And now all of a sudden it seems like we have a lot of San Diego Padre players in Twins camp right now. And I think a lot of that has to do with the matchups and the connections you might have with certain organizations.
Now the 0-2 as Boyer misses down low. I think in recent years we saw a lot of players that were tied with the Reds, and Wayne Kripke works with Terry Ryan, and remember guys like Maloney and of course Jared Burton that had ties with the Reds, and Wayne, a former GM in Cincinnati.
You know, Corey, and that's what the assistant general manager and some of these guys, that their jobs, when they filter out, they don't just stay with the main club. They go out and visit and get relationships with the other general managers around the league.
Boyer from the stretch, and the 1-2 pitch is over but low. 2 balls and 2 strikes and a fastball. Hey, nice to see the genial director of PR for the Twins, Dustin Morse. Mom Debbie tunes in all the time. She tuned in right now, has to be. And that's going to make her smile every time we mention her son's name. His phone starts beeping and buzzing. Hey, they said your name tonight. So there you go. Boyer, the 5th pitcher used by the Twins here tonight. And now the 2-2, and that one pops off the glove of Chris Herman. And that'll be a pass ball, and ricochets all the way to the backstop. And with that, advancing 90 feet will be Coyle. So a full count, 3-2. And Chris Herman getting a chance, did not start. Suzuki caught tonight to start with, but Herman competing for that backup spot with Fryer and Pinto. We saw Fryer last night. We'll see plenty of Josemiel Pinto in the coming days as well. But I think early on in camp, when Herman does play, he DH'd last night, but I think he's going to see more time behind the plate than he will in the outfield, even though he can be used in other spots. The 3-2 is swinging a pop fly foul, twisting out of play behind the plate.
Yeah, he talked about last year that he didn't really get a lot of reps behind home plate. Most of his stuff was in the outfield and late in the ballgame, maybe even over at first base. But Herman feels that that's his best position. He likes it there, but at the same time, he's talking about, if I can make the club as that super utility guy that can play a little bit of the infield, behind the plate, and the outfield. He runs well enough to play the outfield. Good athlete.
Runner at second base, nobody out. Alan Craig still in the game. He's on deck. And Boyer's 3-2, another foul. This one lofted again left side. Twins have a spring training game tomorrow, but that game will not be broadcasted, at least by us. We will be off tomorrow. We will greet you next on Saturday. That'll be a radio-only game. Twins and the Red Sox from JetBlue Park just down the street. Phil Hughes set to make his 2015 spring debut in that one. And the 3-2. That one's flared foul as Boyer came inside. Tommy Malone set to start tomorrow. Twins will be up in Port Charlotte, north of here, up I-75. Phil Hughes on Saturday, Irvin Santana Sunday, and Ricky Nolasco set to go on Monday. That's how it lines up. Gibson went tonight, 2 innings, gave up a run. Boyer's 3-2, swung on, driven foul, slicing out of play left side, chasing, no chance for Martinez. That ball, he's out of play.
I think Mike Pelfrey's going to follow Hughes in that ball game. I talked to him, and he felt that he's going to kind of piggyback if Phil goes a couple of innings. And Pelfrey also they're going to stretch Pelfrey out as to a starter. So with all these guys vying for that 5th spot, you got to get him innings in. And of course, later in spring, they'll start playing the split squad games, and they'll play some early morning, what we used to call B games, the backfield.
9-8 Twins here in the 7th. 1 on, nobody out. The 3-2, another foul. This one at the plate as Boyer came inside at 88 miles an hour. Boyer in his home white, 36 on his back. This will be the 15th pitch for Boyer. And the 3-2. This one's popped up. Should be playable. Shallow left. Racing in towards the line comes Ferris. He's got plenty of room. Makes the catch. And Shaw retired for the first out here in the 7th. Holding at second base is Coyle, and now Craig. A tough night for the former All-Star with the Cardinals. Craig 0 for 3. A double play. A strikeout. He's also lined out. Remember watching Alan Craig in the National League go back to 2011. Cardinals won the World Series, and his teammate at the time, Lance Berkman, gave Craig a great, I guess, giving him so much support for his style of play and what his skill set is. He said, and there were so many great hitters in that Cardinals lineup that year with Pujols and Furcal at the top and Matt Holliday, that if there was any other team, and Berkman, of course, he had some great years there towards the end in St. Louis, but if there was any other team, Alan Craig would be an everyday cleanup hitter. He had that kind of potential, and he showed it at 23 home runs or 22 home runs in 2012, but just has not been able to stay healthy. The nagging foot injury in recent years, but and again, praise coming from Berkman a couple years back.
And again, you talk about all the good hitters, and therefore he was lower in the lineup that year, and not that the pitchers fell asleep on him.
Big jump. Speaking of falling asleep, Boyer never glanced back at second base to keep tabs on Coyle. He had a big jump, and he steals third base without a throw. And it's things like that the coaching staff will take a look at inside the dugout. Also, I don't think the Twins' middle infielders helped at all, but Boyer really never glanced back towards second.
Yeah, I think he got in a little bit of a routine, and at some point he wasn't even looking at the runner at second. As a base runner, you're just trying to get his timing down, and sure enough, no throw by Herman.
Infield up, 1 out. And the 1-1, a check swing and a fastball down low, ball 2. Now the Twins need to really, shore up their running game defensively. That was a problem last year in all areas. You just can't blame the pitchers, the catchers. It was a team-wide problem. Is holding down the opposition's running game in 2014. Righty against righty, and the 2-1 sent foul on a line off the screen.
And I think Paul Mahler is definitely going to keep his finger on that button, because when he played, that was the kind of player that he was, and took advantage of maybe some other teams that really didn't care too much about trying to stop a running game. But I think Paul's going to kind of address that and keep his finger on it and make sure that the pitchers are aware of who the guys that are out there that can steal a base. You know, there's other guys that you know they're going to clog the bases up that you don't have to worry about it.
9-8 Twins here in the 7th. The 2-2, he got him. Strike 3 call. The fastball with some movement moving away at 94. And Craig strikes out for the second time tonight, now 0 for 4. So the runner remains at third base in Coyle. And here comes Brian LaHare, former All-Star with the Cubs back in 2012. LaHare tonight 0 for 2 with a walk.
Pretty good pitch there by Boyer. He got that fastball, a little movement. Came back and caught the outside corner.
A guy like Boyer just hoping for an opportunity, and he's got that here in camp, as do others. Oh, 2 outs. Here's the left-handed batting LaHare. He takes a strike call. Running fastball moving down and away, 0-1. All the changes. Once again, Ferris is in left. Rosario's in center. Ortiz occupies right. Rolfing, Diaz, Bernier, Martinez. First to third, Herman is now catching. Rosario a few steps towards the alley in right center. And the 0-1. Lofted foul above the screen behind the plate as Boyer came inside on LaHare that time, 0-2. Twins scored 2 in the first inning, 2 in the second, 2 more in the third. Big hit for the Red Sox came in the 4th inning on a grand slam from Dustin Pedroia. Hit that off Ryan O'Rourke, left-handed reliever. Pedroia tonight 3 for 3, a home run, double, single, knocked in 4. 0-2 on LaHare. Runner at third, 2 outs. And the pitch, a breaking ball, swung on, popped up, playable back at third. To the grass goes Martinez. He calls and squeezes 2 hands, and that ends the inning. So Boyer works out of it. Red Sox don't score. They leave the tying run 90 feet away. Time to stretch in Fort Myers. Twins 9, Red Sox 8 on your home for Twins baseball. Corey, Danny back with you. Home 7th from Fort Myers. Twins and the Red Sox. First of 9 meetings here in the spring. Twins lead 9-8. Changes defensively for Boston. New pitcher Matt Barnes, a right-hander. A year ago, AAA Pawtucket, 23 games. So Barnes is on here in the 7th. And the new left fielder is Blake Tacoti. Chris Herman The leadoff here in the 7th inning. And Mitch Garver is on deck. He will bat for Escobar. The Twins' young catchers. Speaking of catchers, here's one right now in Herman. Herman got in there last night, DH'd in the exhibition game against the Gophers. That's left-handed, and the 0-1 pitch is flared to shallow right field. That's going to fall for a hit. In the alley to cut it off is the right fielder. So Herman a leadoff single here in the 7th. And now here comes Garver. And a nice chat with Brad Stile earlier today, in charge of the Twins minor league operations, and spent some time talking about depth throughout the system, position by position. And the Twins right now feel they have got plenty of depth behind the plate, and Josmil Pinto is a part of that. Stuart Turner also in the mix. But here's a young guy to keep tabs on this year, Mitch Garver. Big bat last year at Cedar Rapids. 16 home runs, on base percentage near 400. Turner probably just ahead of Garver in that area. And the 0-1 is swung on and missed, a fastball at 95. It's 0-2. And Turner probably has the leg up defensively. Turner has all the tools defensively. His bat needs some work, whereas Garver, maybe the advantage right now is offense in front of his defense. As he bats here in the 7th inning. It's from the right side. Twins lead by 1 in the 7th. And the 0-2 is high. The slider missing upstairs, ball 1. Another area where Brad mentioned there's some depth, some power arms that are moving up in the Twins system. Guys in the bullpen. And the 0-1. Strike 3 called on a slider, and Garver strikes out here in the 7th inning, 1 out. Now, Nick Burdi, of course, was getting plenty of attention, and Burdi not in camp as he was drafted last year out of Louisville, so he's going to be on the minor league side, but keep tabs on Burdi. Big arm, upper 90s, if not more. Him and Alex Meyer is in that mix as well. Zach Jones and Jake Reed, guys that expect to have good velocity out of the bullpen. There's Eddie Rosario, who swings and misses 0-1. Now Rosario, did not see him at all last spring as he was dealing with a personal matter. And he was suspended, reinstated in late May. And his numbers during the regular season, not all that impressive as he swings and pops it up to short. And Marrero calls, and the shortstop pulls it down for the 2nd out. Holding it first is Herman. But then Rosario had a great fall league. And he is somebody that Twins believe that he can hit for power. Not just talking home runs, but doubles and extra base hits. High ceiling for a guy like Eddie Rosario. And we'll see how he fares here in camp and also throughout the summer. So 2 down. And here's Doug Bernier, his second at bat tonight. Lined out his first time as he rolls one out to short. Marrero fields. He'll feed second for the force on Herman to end the inning. Twins don't score, leave 1 through 7. 1-run game, Twins 9, Red Sox 8 on your home for Twins baseball. Twins lead 9-8. Still Blaine Boyer out there pitching. And the Red Sox will have 2, 3, and 4 due up, down by 1. As Boyer's back to work. In the 7th inning, worked around a leadoff walk. And the Red Sox left the tying run 90 feet away. Get a chance to see Blake Swihart, the #1 prospect in the Red Sox system, according to Baseball America. Switch hitting catcher, and Swihart takes a strike called. Spent the bulk of the year at AA Portland last year at 300. 12 home runs, also got some time at AAA Pawtucket. Does not wear batting gloves, and the 0-1. There's a breaky ball missing down low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Top guy in the Red Sox system, according to Baseball America. Batting here in the 8th inning, and the 1-1 is grounded back to the mound. Boyer fields at the base of the mound, easy lob to first. And that's out number 1. By the way, tonight's 7th inning stretch was brought to you by Mayo Clinic Sports Medicine. Sometimes you need to do more than just stretch. Mayo Clinic Sports Medicine is changing your game through comprehensive sports medical services. Make your appointment today at Mayo Clinic Square in Minneapolis. 1 down for the shortstop, Devin Marrero. His first at bat tonight. The difference so far, an unearned run. As Boyer hits the inside corner with a strike. A throwing error by pitcher back in the home 6th. Now Dan Rolfing to score. And the 0-1 is sent foul, not too far from us. Danny's got the glove on. Just down and to our right, but you are ready to go per usual.
And
glove
I told
in your
you
left
the
hand.
ball game last night is going to be a little bit tougher. And the fact that we have somewhat of a space in between us, you have your window area, I have my area to cover. Correct?
0-2 on Marrero, and that one pops away from Chris Herman.
Yes.
Well, can I loan you my window as well? Does that option remain open?
Well, I know that I'm playing this field here, this window, and you can play that one. So anything in your area, I want to see the effort.
What about false hustle? Does that count?
No, I've seen enough of that. But this is where you want to be right here. And I told you to be ready because it's not going to just kind of float in here. It's going to be a line drive.
Blue darter.
Blue darter to get in here. And I know that you've got the kid's glove, and I'm not. Did you bring it down this year?
We did.
Good. Well, you need to start breaking it in. I'll help you with it.
Please do. 2-2 on Marrero. Twins by 1. And the pitch is hit foul. Got a piece of Herman. Twins catcher got stung there off his right hand. And now he's on his feet, walking around, shaking his hand. That foul tip got him square on the right hand.
You know, a lot of the catchers these days, they get that hand, they try to tuck it back behind their right knee there, and it looked like Herman just a little bit tardy in getting that right hand back. Boy, that didn't show up. Remember Johnny Bench? He used to have the 2 hands. They had that, what they called the donut glove, no hinge in it, and then they incorporated a hinge, and then all of a sudden, just a little bit late getting that hand back tucked behind out of the way. Well, if you want to see some baseball players, some old players, and you shake their hand and their fingers a little bit crooked, those are the old catchers.
Phil Roof,
Rick Stelmazik. Boy.
Bob Uecker? Not really. The 2-2 is sent foul. Out of play to our right.
When I was with the Giants, we had our minor league farm director, Tom Haller. had those fingers all broken up. And you look at Bochy's hands and, Bob Brenly's hand to an extent. But I think nowadays it's almost like they teach the catchers to hurry up and get that throwing hand tucked behind you.
2-2 on Marrero. 1 out, bases empty, the 8th, and the pitch is swung on Sky to playable right. Over to his left goes Danny Ortiz, and he'll make the catch for the 2nd out. Crowd tonight, a sellout, 8,324. Here at Hammond Stadium, the CenturyLink Sports Complex. And Larry Benessi, one of the Twins trainers, is coming out to take a look at Chris Herman. And the Twins will make a pitching change as Molitor will take Boyer out. Looks like Aaron Thompson is coming in to pitch for the Twins. So Boyer is done. Thompson coming in. 8th inning, bases empty, 2 outs. Twins lead 9-8. More from Fort Myers next on your home for Twins baseball. For the Twins, left-handed reliever, 28 years old, from Santa Fe, New Mexico. Spent the bulk of the year at AAA Rochester. Got a chance to see Aaron, though, late in 2014. Nice job, 7 games. Just over 7 innings and allowed 2 runs. So Thompson, another left-handed arm, vying for a spot. So Ryan O'Rourke earlier tonight. I've yet to see Caleb Thielbar. Of course, this is only the first game, so we'll see Thielbar plenty, though, as the games move along down here. What we got batting right now, Danny?
You got Ramos. Henry Ramos.
And here is Ramos, and he takes a pitch high for a ball. How long has Ramos been in the game?
This is his first at bat. Okay. The Boston Red Sox, they have like a mini spring training where they bring in certain guys, the younger players, and they have their own little spring training, and then they'll grab some of the players when they make a road trip like this, and he is one of those guys that got invited up from the minor leagues. So it's not like he's in big league camp with them. He's just the Red Sox have a what they call a mini spring training where they kind of invite about 25, 30 players, and he got to make the road trip.
1-run game, 9-8 Twins here in the 8th inning, bases empty, 2 outs. Twins will open up their minor league camp officially next week as the Ramos sends one to right, shallow near the line, going to land fair. One hopping to Ortiz. So it's a 2-out single to right for Ramos. So he is on. And that'll bring up the top of the order for the Red Sox, down by 1. This is Quentin Berry.
Wow.
I remember seeing Quentin Berry with Kansas City and Baltimore in recent years.
Remember Detroit Tigers when Austin Jackson went down. He came up, kind of a lifesaver for him. And doesn't this guy hold the record for most stolen bases in the minor leagues, I think?
So he will bat here in the 8th inning. Lefty on lefty. Thompson with the leg kick, and here it comes. And he was a swinging strike at 86 miles an hour by the bat of Berry. Yeah, minor league camp for the Twins opens up next week, and some guys already arriving. Understand that Nick Gordon is here, and he's added some muscle. Twins' first-round pick a year ago, and shortstop. No balls and a strike on Berry. Strike 2 called. Fastball at 87, 0-2 on Berry. Now you walk over to the brand new academy and you'll see plenty of bodies kind of hanging out in the entertainment area, the kitchen, dining room. And the 0-2 is in the dirt, blocked. Nice block by Herman. That one right off the chest pad. Ball 1. And the dorm room set up at the academy, 55 double occupancy. Rooms at the brand new academy down the street. Now, during the regular season, Fort Myers, of course, plays here, but the Miracle players won't stay there. That's really for the GCL players and even some players who are on rehab assignments. When they come down here to get healthy, they can stay at the academy as well. But really not so much for the Miracle players, but more for the GCL players and also for those that are drafted right away. When they report down here, that's where they will stay and begin their careers. It's pretty nice.
If you're a Fort Myers player, you get free rent. They got 3 meals a day. I like about it, you can come down and get that midnight snack. TV, everybody has their own computer. It's a very nice setup.
One and 2 on Quentin Berry. Aaron Thompson trying to end this Red Sox 8th inning. Bianchi would bat next, and here it comes. Swung on, fisted back to third, trouble. That's going to fall. In shallow left field, Martinez gave chase, could not run it down. And so Berry just kind of bloops one into shallow left, and that extends this inning. So down to second goes Ramos. Berry's aboard. And now Jeff Bianchi, a former Brewer, will bat here in the Red Sox 8th with Boston down by a run. Offensively tonight for the Twins. Twins got 2 in the first inning. At 1 point strung together 4 straight hits. Dozier single, Mauer single, Hunter RBI single, RC RBI double. Danny Santana RBI double, Aaron Hicks RBI triple in the second. Eduardo Escobar, a 2-run home run earlier tonight. And Pedroia, big night for the Red Sox. 3 for 3, a grand slam, doubled, singled. Gibson started, went 2 innings. Tim Stauffer, his Twins spring debut, did not go well. Bounced to third, backing up Martinez. It's foul. As he and Stauffer, inning plus, 6 runs, 5 earned. 5 hits. Meanwhile, for the Red Sox, Joe Kelly, Boston starter, inning and 2/3, 4 runs on 7 hits. Ogando gave up 2 on the homer to Escobar. Both these teams lost 90 or more games last year. Red Sox 91, Twins 92. Oh and 1 on Bianchi. 2 on, 2 out. Twins by 1 in the 8th. And the pitch, fastball, knee-high strike. Have you seen Bert down here at all?
Have not. I know where he's golfing, though.
I know the Duke will be down here in a few days.
Yeah. He'll show up with that ready-made tan.
The 0-2 is swinging a foul. Herman could not hang on, so Bianchi stays alive.
He's not down here right now, but his picture adorns our radio booth.
Inspiration every day as we look over to our right. We see the headshot of the Duke. getting ready for his 32nd year broadcasting Twins games. And look forward to Dick Bramer coming down. The 0-2, he got him in the dirt, chased a breaking ball, and Bianchi strikes out swinging. Red Sox don't score, leave 2, 7.5 complete. Twins 9, Red Sox 8. You're listening to Twins Baseball. Out of half of the 8th inning from Hammond Stadium, CenturyLink Sports Complex. Twins lead the Red Sox 9-8. Still Barnes on the mound for the Red Sox. And Argenis Diaz lead off here for the Twins. Let's see if the Twins could add on to their one-run advantage right now. Strike called on Diaz. Diaz now playing second base. Brian Dozier started tonight. Dozier, a couple of hits, double RBI, or a single and a run scored. As Diaz swings and misses 0-2. I mentioned some news around the game earlier tonight. Danny Hunter Pence got hit by a pitch. That one is sent foul again in our direction, but just off to our right. Keeping tabs on the Tigers and what's going on with Detroit here in the spring. And Miguel Cabrera getting healthier. Victor Martinez injured for now. Hopes to be back in a few weeks, if not early April, as he recovers from a knee procedure.
Yeah, I think Cespedes unavailable too right now, I think, with a stiff back, but I don't think it's nearly the injury that Cabrera, Martinez coming back from.
And the 0-2, and Diaz strikes out swinging. Slider in the dirt. So one out.
I'm not sure what teams are picking right now, but Detroit, of course, I'm sure, with Verlander, and don't forget, they've got Price this year, too. Two pretty good pitchers right there, 1-2, so.
Anibal Sanchez back healthy.
Yeah.
And when he is healthy, he is filthy. With one out, here's Dan Rolfing batting, good cut, swing, sends one foul. But the team that really changed up their roster, the Chicago White Sox, this winter.
Yeah, I like what they did in the back end. They got the closer from the Yankees. So I just think that the Brea over there at first, and they grabbed somebody else to play some first.
In left field, and Adam LaRoche.
Yep.
First baseman, but Jeff Samardzija. So you go Chris Sale, who's injured himself. Chris Sale is Doubtful now, say doubtful, but questionable to be healthy for the opener. And the 1-1 is down low. Broken foot sidelining Sale right now. But Sale, Samardzija, Jose Quintana.
Ventura, the manager of the White Sox, said there's a slim chance that he might be able to pitch their opener.
A 2-1 chop to short. Two-hopper, chest high, glove by Marrero, throws out. Rolfing for the second out.
And what about the Kansas City Royals? You think they're going to be still riding high on that magical season that they had last year?
I do. I don't see why people are saying the Royals are going to take a step back. I don't get why. Yes, they lose Shields, but I think Danny Duffy could be a breakout star in the game. I think he gets a chance with his arm. Again, health for him is a big thing, but left-handed power at a starting role. Still have all those big arms in the bullpen. Still have the defense, the speed. I don't see why people think the Royals are going to regress here in 2015.
And I think there's something to say about Shields being that ace there, and they're also going to get Hoshaver back too. So I just think that they're going to grow on the experience that they got last year.
Strike called 97. Big arm here. 0-2 the count.
You look at look at what Moustakas did in the playoffs. I mean, here's a guy that really during the season we saw him batting in the 8th slot and just a little bit over 200, but he got in the playoffs. It goes to show you, boy, anything can happen. Hey, we're batting him 3rd and 4th in the lineup, and to me, they still got one of the premier catchers in Perez. So, and you talk about their defense, and Kane really stepped up. He did well.
1-2 on Danny Ortiz as Barnes goes off speed, misses low that time. 2-2.
Cleveland, you worried about Cleveland at all?
Yeah, I like that they added a bat, acquired Brandon Moss. If Bourne can stay healthy, which is a big if, you have a guy that can be a weapon offensively in center field as Ortiz flares one foul. I like their pitching staff in September was lights out. The numbers that staff collectively in September put up, was keeping Cleveland somewhat in the conversation, was keeping them somewhat contending there in September with the finish that Salazar and Carrasco and, of course, Kluber won the Cy Young, and Twins had problems with guys like T.J. House and others. Now, the Indians' rotation, don't forget about that group as well here. The 2-2 is high. Slider ball 3. Yeah, the Central Division, I think, across the game is garnering a lot of respect, and it's a good thing. That in the years past, it's been, okay, the Tigers and everybody else. I think it's a different story here this year. Ortiz strikes out swinging. Barnes brings in some velocity, hit the upper 90s a few times. Fastball by him at 96, ends the 8th inning. 9th inning coming up, Twins lead by 1. 9-8 is our score on your home for Twins baseball. Live Minnesota Twins baseball is back in 2015 with MLB.com at bat on your smartphone or tablet. Stay connected with live radio broadcasts, stats, breaking news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Aaron Thompson trying to finish off the Red Sox here in the 9th inning. Ball 1 on Sean Coyle. Twins lead 9-8, and he misses high again. Ball 2. Shaw's on deck. Twins will take on the Rays in Port Charlotte tomorrow at 12:05 Central Time, but that game will not be broadcasted by us. And the 2-0 is popped up. Foul. Kyle Hammer just next door from our famed engineer. How many years now for you, Kyle Hammer, on Twins Radio? His 8th year. And Danny, for you, year number 16? 15.
Corey, 4?
4.
Starting your 4th year. Been fun.
Cha! The 2-1 swung on Sky to shallow left. Eric Ferris racing in, still coming, and the left fielder makes the squeeze near his left shoulder. With 1 out before Shaw bats, we step out 10. Station identification from Fort Myers. This is Twins baseball.
First baseman, number 77, Travis Shaw.
Archidowski, Alex Wolski, Andrew Halverson back inside our studios in Minneapolis at Target Field tonight. Corey, Danny, and Kyle with you once again from Fort Myers. Our next broadcast will be here on Saturday. We'll be here in Fort Myers, but down the street, Twins and Red Sox on the air at noon, 12:05. Radio only for that one on Saturday. The 0-1 swing and a miss. Breaking ball. And Shaw off balance on that cut. 0-2.
Corey, one thing the Boston Red Sox did, not a lot of changes. They brought in, we talked about Sandoval and Henley Ramirez, but also new hitting coach, good buddy of mine, Chili Davis, going to be the hitting coach for the Boston Red Sox this year.
Ground ball up the middle and off the glove. Backhanded attempt by Diaz, ranging to his right. Would have been a tough play. And that will be a base hit. Infield single for Shaw. So he is on with 1 out. 9-8 game. And Chili Davis had a great run, wouldn't you say, with the Oakland A's?
Yeah. And prior to the 2 years that he was with the Oakland Athletics, he was the AAA hitting coach with the Boston Red Sox. So he does have a connection with the Boston Red Sox. But, you know, here's a guy that's a switch hitter, great career, and just a great communicator, and being able to kind of get these guys focused and work within what they do best. So I think the Red Sox are going to benefit with Chili Davis over there.
Red Sox have a pinch runner at first base. We'll try to get his name for you momentarily. There's Blake Tecati batting here in the 9th inning. Twins by 1 out. As Thompson throws the first, close play, and just getting back in is the runner. Looks like number 81 is that Matt Spring.
If it's 81, I got Matty Johnson.
Okay. We have a couple 81s.
They do?
Yeah. Matty Johnson, I'm with you. Matty Johnson.
Yeah.
And the pitch swung on, popped up. Shallow center. Eddie Rosario coming in, and he'll make the catch for out number 2. And the Red Sox have 2 81s in the roster. Matty Johnson makes sense. He's an outfielder, probably more speed than 81 Matt Spring, the third catcher the Red Sox have brought over tonight. So 2 outs. And the Twins 1 out away from winning the first of these 9 meetings here in the spring with the Red Sox and Brian LaHare. Last chance for Boston. Fireworks coming up for those tuning in to the concourse tonight. Pickoff play to first, and they got him. And that's how it ends. Thompson picks off Matty Johnson, and the Twins win 9-8. The decisive run coming unearned in the 6th inning on a throwing error by a Red Sox pitcher. Twins win, knocking off the Red Sox 9-8. We're back with more next on your home for Twins baseball.